What is up, everyone? Today we are doing a matchup chart for Pikachu because one of the reasons I think Pikachu is the best character in the game is the fact that he has less losing matchups and better matchups across the board than every other character in the game. So I wanted to go over what I now think. It's been about a year-ish since I've done a matchup chart. I think my last one was in February. And a lot of things have changed in terms of Pikachu's meta, new characters, buffs, nerfs, and stuff like that, especially in the 8.0 patch. So I wanted to re-go over everything. So let us just get started. I'm going to be lazy and do it in alphabetical order. Also, just so you know, if I randomly skip ahead into a list or into a character that isn't in alphabetical order, it's because what I'm doing is for my Twitch subs, they can request me to go over a character immediately. So if anything goes out of order, that's why. First off, we're going to do Banjo Kazooie, and I think this matchup is a 6-4 in Pikachu's favor. Pikachu just has a lot of options for dealing with Banjo. Of course, he's fast. T-Jolt can hit Grenade. Eggs aren't super good versus him. Like, literally the only thing that Banjo has really well in this matchup, in my opinion, is edge trapping and, like, two-framing specifically, because you can obviously two-frame Pikachu's quick attack if you don't get the super good angle. And, like, that's it. Because, like, you can't really use Wonder Ring offensively in this matchup because you need it for recovery. If you don't have Wonder Ring, you straight up just die when trying to recover. Sometimes you die even with Wonder Ring, unless you can get high out there before Pikachu, like, gets to you. Pikachu combos him super hard. I'm pretty sure bridges work. I'm just gonna actually pull up my upper bridge list. Yeah, so Banjo gets full wrapped up air bridges, which means he's just going to die at like 30, which is really unfortunate. He'll die from the Smashville platform. You can just avoid a lot of stuff. You get really big edge guards. Damage is better for Pikachu. Mobility is better for Pikachu. Pikachu can actually outcamp Banjo as long as you watch out for like really early Wonder Wings, and like that's basically all you have to look out for is Pikachu. Otherwise, you just play your game and win. Next up is going to be Bayonetta. I also think Bayo's 6-4. I used to think it was worse, but obviously Bayo did get buffed, but I do think this matchup was still handily in Pikachu's favor. I played Frog the other day, and granted this is Wi-Fi, but there are so many things that just don't work for Bayo in this matchup. Pikachu's SDI is really good to get out of combos because Pikachu is so small. It's really hard to hit Pikachu with kill moves because you can just kind of avoid them most of the time if you're playing passive enough. You know, the only thing that got better in this matchup from Smash 4, which was already in Pikachu's favor, in my opinion, of course, is the fact that you can get Witch Time from farther away T-Jolts, but at the same time, you don't need T-Jolt in this game because Pikachu's like damage output and everything is ridiculous. And yeah, is Bats Within annoying? Sure. Is Witch Time kind of annoying? Yeah. But at some point, if you have a lead as Pikachu, you can just kind of play a bait and punish type of game against Bayo. If she ever shoots guns, you can quick attack it, just like either jump above it or just on the ground. It's hard for Bayo, and if Bayo tries to like land on a platform, even if you can't get a huge punish, again, you can get like quick attack up tilt or something like that, quick attack up air at higher percent. So nowhere is really safe for Bayo. She does get bridged because actually up air forward air is a true enough combo that you can't Bats Within it a lot of the times. Bayo can't really edge guard Pikachu. Pikachu can sometimes edge guard Bayo, especially with Thunders. At least you can get sometimes some percent. And because he's short, you know, Short Hop ABK, which is her side B, is going to be less useful than against a lot of other characters. Like Short Hop Rising Fair isn't going to be good. So Pikachu's neutral is just like really hard for Bayo to deal with. And then like sometimes you pancake under, like you pancake actually under a lot of stuff that Bayo has. Like I pancake just by like landing under a Bayo F tilt. Next up is Bowser. Bowser, this matchup sucks. This matchup's really bad in my opinion. It is 65-35. I think it is easily Bowser's worst matchup, or one of the worst matchups. The neutral can be kind of annoying sometimes, but I went over this. I actually have a full detailed video of how to play this matchup as Pikachu if you want to check it out. I will link it up above, which is going to, I guess, be above me. But Bowser gets Nair looped. He gets edge guarded, he gets advantage state a lot, like advantage stated by Pikachu a lot. It is really hard for Bowser to hit Pikachu, and like when he does, for the most part, it's not really going to be enough to like overcome what Pikachu's doing to him. Yes, is Bowser super heavy, so Nair down smash isn't going to be killing at the ledge until 140, 145 if you don't have rage? Yeah, but at the same time, you can throw Bowser off stage at like 30% and then get like, okay, I'm going to cover high with forward air. Okay, he didn't do it. I'm going to fall with down air. Okay, that didn't hit, so he had to do a very late upbeat Thunder, and then you kill him. You can play safe enough against Bowser to not get upbeat out of shield as well, because if you do a fair and then drift back, like you can confirm if it hits or if it's shielded. If it's shielded, you dash, you back up, and then you can't get upbeat out of shield. So Bowsers are basically going to have to rely on Flame Breath in this matchup, and then just like preemptively trying to hit Pikachu with his landing, or with his rising aerials, which is really difficult. Leon and me played a first 10, it was actually very close, but again, 1, Wi-Fi, 2, you can always play this matchup bad. Like, Bowser is a character where if you're not playing the matchup really, really well, of course he can swing because he's going to get forward smashes and he's going to get down smashes and he's going to do all these things. And another good thing that I kind of mentioned with Banjo, that Bowser can get 2 frames with forward tilt and that will kill Pikachu probably like 85 or so. But again, like Bowser's combos against Pikachu are significantly less impactful than vice versa. And it's just really hard for Bowser to, like, once he gets hit, to land. Like, there have literally been times where I've just, like, hit a Bowser at 0, nair loop them for 80, finally, like, hit him with an up air, or, like, hit him off stage, ledge trapped him for the rest of the stock and he's dead. Or juggled him for the rest of the stock, eventually hit him off stage, then T-jolt down or he's dead. Like, it's bad. It's really, really bad. Next up is Bowser Jr. So I don't actually think this matchup's that bad. I actually think Bowser Jr. does have several options against Pikachu, or at the very least slows down the game enough to the point where it's kind of annoying and can kind of deal with T-Jolt. So I think it is 55-45 Pikachu's favor. Again, forward smash 2 framing is going to be a big deal, so if you ever do get Pikachu off stage, you can potentially steal kills at like 60-65. Again, the general damage output for this character is going to be lower than Pikachu's. The general game plan of this character is going to be worse. But Bowser Jr. is pretty good at juggling, he's pretty fast, so we can actually cover a lot of spaces that Pikachu wants to go with things like Quick Attack or his falling aerials and stuff like that. He has options, he has speed, he has kind of mix-ups that are going to make this matchup not super bad, especially after the buffs. I think Forward Throw is going to help a lot, because Pikachu hiding in shield when characters are, or when you're at high percent, is really good, because for the most part there aren't too many scary grabs. But now forward throw being a kill throw is like actually a pretty big deal. Also, uppy being faster means it's going to be a little bit harder to edgeguard Bowser Jr. Like reactively, you're going to have to just guess. Of course, you still do have like back air fast fall, and that's just going to kill Bowser Jr. at any percent, because it doesn't matter what you like. You're not going into tumble, so it's not going to let you uppy again, which is tragic. But yeah, I do think this matchup's not that bad. It's one of the worst characters that Pikachu actually doesn't do super great. There's actually another one, which I'll get into a bit later. But yeah, Bowser Jr. actually does fairly well. Still loses, but fairly well, and has enough tools to deal with Pikachu. Like, T-Jolt isn't super good in the matchup because you can just you can dash back, jump side B, land with it. You always have the threat of early up B, so you can't just like easily just like, I'm gonna up air pressure, because if you get up B, you're going to explode. So it's not super great. Next up is Byleth. I'm not sure if this is 6'4 or 65-35, but for now I'm just going to put it in 6'4. Also later in the video, I guess when everything's done, I'm going to order where everything is in terms of like the hardest of matchups to like the easiest even in a category, in my opinion. Granted, that's super, I mean, this is all kind of opinion, but that's like super opinion, because like if it's a 6'4, it doesn't really matter which one's an easier or harder 6'4, but we'll get into that later. But Byleth is really susceptible to Pikachu's rushdown, really susceptible to Pikachu's edge guarding. Of course, hits like a truck, so yeah, Pikachu's weight is going to actually be influential in this matchup, because a lot of times Pikachu can kind of avoid strong moves and not really care, but because Byleths are huge and, you know, can be like off of ledge, or like, oh, I tried to quick attack to ledge, or not quick attack to ledge, I tried to quick attack on stage and I got back aired at 65 and I died because that move was ridiculous, or forward smash, things like that. Can also like maybe parry dash F smash punish quick attack on stage, but this matchup is still pretty bad. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of experience in it. I played Leo, and even without, you know, nair loops and stuff because it was online, I was just like, oh, this character dies. I'm pretty sure they get 1 rep on stage into off stage up air bridge, which means a 2 rep on stage into a later one, potentially. Like, the combos that Pikachu can get on this character are insane. The advantage state's still really good because Byleth doesn't really have great landing options. Like, the best one would be landing Nair in this matchup, and then that still gets back aired out of shield or Naired out of shield. And if you think you're going to go for spacing forward air or back air, you just quick attack with punish. Quick attack with punishing is going to be so big on every sword type character, because quick attack's bigger than every sword for now, because Sephiroth is coming out. But, you know, whatever. We'll get to that when we see the character. But yeah, I think this matchup's really, really hard. Pikachu can just kind of disengage when he wants to, can camp, can always get approaching options with T-Jolt, and jumping against Pikachu isn't a good option unless you have good landing options, and Byleth does not have one. You know, doesn't really have a projectile that's going to contend. It's just hard. I feel like Pikachu just wins in every aspect, but the only reason it's not worse is because killing is such a big deal. So, yeah. Okay, so a Twitch sub is asking me to go to the very end and do Zelda. I think this matchup is, I don't know if it's 55-45 or 6-4, but Pikachu definitely wins. So I'm just going to go with 55-45 for now. I may change it later, but Pikachu can play passive around all the camping. You know, things like Phantom are good, but Pikachu can just kind of jump over them and not worry about it. Pikachu can choose when to engage and disengage, and one of the biggest things is once you hit Zelda, if you finish Zelda hitting her up, then Zelda struggles to land. Zelda's landing is one of the worst in the game. Of course, she does have her neutral B, Nehru's Love, in order to get out of that disadvantaged state, but again, it's just a guess, and a lot of times Pikachu can guess right. Like, you're more likely to guess right as Pikachu than guess wrong, and then, like, I've literally hit Zelda's up above me and got 50 to 60% just from juggling, which is really, really bad because Zelda's not super heavy, so then Nair down smash and edge trapping generally will kill Zelda fairly consistently, especially if you get like Nehru's Love and then you just like read it, shield it, and then up smash out a shield or something like that. I don't know, it could be 6-4. But Zelda does still have some options because, of course, she does still have her throw combos. Her kill potential is ridiculous between Phantom, Din's Fire if you get hit by it for some reason, back air, forward smash, up B at a shield, which is going to be a great option. Like, Pikachu's aggression in this matchup isn't super great. It's a lot of times trying to just punish what Zelda is doing as opposed to, I'm going to aggress onto Zelda. But of course, if they're not really using Phantom that much, you can still like do a T-Jolt and force something and then kind of you create the situation that you might be able to punish, which is one of the reasons why I think Pikachu wins. Of course, you still do have your combos, but you can't really edge guard this character super well. Edge trapping is risky because of up air as well as early up B, but I think Pikachu still wins this matchup. I want to play Ven again because the one time I played him I lost, but that was before I understood the Zelda matchup because I've actually learned this matchup a lot because of Wi-Fi, which is really funny to me, but like, it could be 6-4 in Pikachu's favor, I'm not sure, but Pikachu definitely wins the matchup just because he controls the pace, and he who controls the pace controls the game, in my opinion. Next up, because of another sub, is going to be Ice Climbers. I think Ice Climbers is kind of similar in a Zelda state, where I'm not sure if it's 55-45 or 6-4, but I'm going to put it as 55 for now. I think this is a little bit more confident, but Pikachu definitely beats Ice Climbers because Pikachu has one of the best throws for separating the climbers in the entire game with back throw. Because no, it doesn't have a hitbox to hit the other climber away, but honestly, sometimes those are worse because, I mean, I guess there's enough throw invincibility in this game that you're always going to like be able to finish your throw, but Pikachu back throw, if you're not ready for it, which typically Ice Climbers aren't because they're shielding when you get grabs, is going to like throw whichever Ice Climber off stage. If you throw Popo, you just instantly dash attack Nana and separate her on the opposite side of the stage, or if it is Nana, you jump off stage, hit Nana's double jump, which is going to happen early with a forward air, and then you continue to edge guard this character, and even if you get hit by Popo for doing it, you're still going to more than likely kill Nana or at least start separation. Pikachu is one of the best characters at edge guarding both climbers because he has just like back air. You can actually up B, wait for Nana to grab the ledge. Like if Ice Climbers are up B'ing, you wait for Nana to grab the ledge and then drop off and do like a neutral air, and it just kills Popo. Like there's no way to make it back, which is really rough. Of course, Ice Climbers do have crazy combos and stuff like that, but Pikachu is able to shoot T-Jolt, make them either desync or just have to like shield or something and then gets pressure. Of course, up smash out of shield is going to be huge in this matchup for Ice Climbers. It's really, really good. When I played Big D, I got hit by a ton of up smashes. But again, if you're playing a little bit safer and trying to go for like down tilts and stuff like that, if they aren't spamming Blizzard, then you're going to be able to be fine. I feel like a lot of desyncs that Ice Climbers have are actually susceptible to Pikachu's just like jumping above them and then like hitting a down air and getting damage. Like Pikachu's so good at splitting up Ice Climbers or just dealing a bunch of damage because of course you have moves that always send in one direction, like forward air and back air, and you have back throw, you have a spike. Like this character does so well at just hitting both climbers. Like I do think Ice Climbers does have a decent amount in this matchup because Blizzard can be a pain in the ass to deal with. Sometimes platform pressure that this character has, of course, edge trapping can be pretty scary because Blizzard, and that's really good. Of course, kill confirms are going to work very well on Pikachu because he's so super light. So like up tilt upper is going to kill fairly early, up smashes out of shield are going to kill fairly early, but I just feel like Pikachu has more in this matchup than Ice Climbers do, and the ability to like separate Ice Climbers, similar to what we'll get into like Rosalina and Luma later, if you are able to separate and kill the biggest threat of the character, you're going to win the matchup. Like, I think this matchup might be 6-4, but for now I'm just going to put it 55-45. We'll re-go over it when I like finalize my list. Next up, we're going to talk about Diddy Kong. So, honestly, I don't have enough matchup experience with new Diddy to say whether or not, again, this matchup is 55-45 or 6-4, but I do think Pikachu solidly wins this matchup. I don't know if Tweak agrees. I haven't really talked to him about this matchup since he's been playing Diddy Kong more, but I still think Pikachu has more tools than Diddy Kong. A lot of the times that, like, Pikachu is going to lose this matchup is because the Pikachu player is going to be more impatient and more stubborn with stuff, as opposed to Pikachu, the character, who can just kind of sit back and do T-Jolts and not really worry about banana punishes because you're in the air. So of course, Diddy Kong has great kill confirms, down tilt up smash, banana F smash, nair back air, down tilt fair, stuff like that. So he's going to be killing Pikachu fairly consistent because those are like good neutral tools that are going to convert into kills. But at the same time, Pikachu has forward, like has edge guarding, of course has his own kill confirms, has really good killing if you get Banana, although Pikachu's item toss is really, really bad and it's still very bad. But you get if you get like Banana in hand and Diddy hits your shield, you can add a shield, Z drop Banana, Nair up smash, which is pretty good. So I think Pikachu having Thunder means that Diddy Kong has to Monkey Flip in a much smarter way because you can't just high Monkey Flip because Pikachu can just Thunder it. So it makes recovering very, very scary. Of course, is Diddy Kong's recovery fairly versatile and hard to hit? Yeah, but Pikachu will eventually get that hit, you know, once or twice a set, and those are going to be like game-defining moments, which in my opinion is why it's 55-45. The added shield options that Pikachu has are great for dealing with down tilt because you have back air, you have Nair. So a fresh down tilt is safe on shield to grab, but other than that, it's not. Things besides perfect back air aren't going to be safe on shield because if you do a Nair even if it's either one stale or one frame higher than the ground, it's going to be nairable out of shield. So I feel like Pikachu's ground options are really good. It just becomes this kind of cat and mouse game of Diddy Kong trying to pull Banana, Pikachu trying to aggress onto him if that's the case. If Diddy Kong has Banana, Pikachu just kind of wants to shoot T-Jolts and make Diddy throw Banana so you can get Banana and either use it or throw it up and get it behind you and then fight Diddy Kong by himself. Diddy Kong does have a decent amount of tools in this matchup, but I do think Pikachu is just slightly stronger because, again, the combos, let's see what he gets. Up air bridge, he gets 2 reps, so that's going to be like pretty long. 2 reps on stage into off stage loops or bridges, which are going to be pretty detrimental for Diddy Kong because it means that Diddy Kong's best stages like FD and Smashville and Town are suddenly going to be really good for Pikachu as well because grabs at 30 to 40% are just going to kill Diddy Kong. Of course, if you read the DI, but again, I'm talking about offline, not online, so yeah. Like, Pikachu's passive play is just so good in this matchup, and I feel like it's better than Diddy's passive play. So again, Pikachu controls the tempo just a little bit more and has more options than vice versa, just generally, especially if Diddy Kong doesn't have Banana. So I think that's what puts the matchup in slight Pikachu favor. Again, it's not terrible because Diddy Kong's recovery is a lot more versatile than it was in Smash 4, and you got a lot of edge guards in Smash 4 against this character, but I feel like it's going to happen less in this game, but at the same time, just like, upper bridges are going to make this. Like, if Pikachu didn't have upper bridges, I probably would say even, because then the kill differential would be in Diddy's favor for sure, but with bridges, it's not, so. Anyway, next up is going to be Captain Falcon. So this matchup, I'm going to put in 6-4 for now. Honestly, with all the IDJ stuff, it might be 55 because Falcon's getting the hit is getting so much better and so much scarier. But I do think Falcon struggles fundamentally with Pikachu because he's hard to hit, he has really good edge guarding, and combos the hell out of him. Like, the edge guarding is actually very easy in this matchup. Down air is going to do such a good job of hitting Falcon out, or of course spiking him. You have, if you ever get tech checked, that's just going to be up airs into forward airs at like 30 to 40, or of course a spike potentially. The neutral is really hard for Falcon because T-Jolt just creates pressure. Of course you can armor through it with Raptor Boost, but then again, that's a guess, and if the Pikachu guesses that and shields, then suddenly you're gonna get punished and potentially bridged and looped, and it's just really hard for Falcon to keep the momentum in this matchup until he gets the hit. But getting the hit in this matchup is really, really difficult. And of course, Pikachu has just as deadly combos between his back air, up air, back air to get Falcon off stage and continue to edge guard him, between Nair loops, between up air bridges, which Falcon is just, he gets upper bridged forever. So it's rough. It is not easy for Falcon to just kind of play the game he wants to play because getting those landing down airs, landing Nairs, even Raptor Boosts are going to be fairly difficult against a Pikachu that is looking out for them. Which you should be because he's Falcon, and if he hits you, he's going to kill you because I know Falcon can kill Pikachu at 0 because, haha, IDJ. Anywho, next up is going to be Chrom. Again, don't know if Chrom is 55-45 or 6-4, but for now I'm just going to put 55-45. This is probably the sword matchup I'm the most uncomfortable in because Chrom is explosive and really scary for edge trapping and really consistent for killing. Against characters like Roy, which I'll get into later, you can kind of space around the sword and kind of be fine with it, but because Chrom is so fast and of course consistent with his sword because he doesn't have sour spots, you're going to actually die much more frequently against Chrom and much more consistently earlier than against Roy. However, the edge guarding is really easy in this matchup if you actually remember how to edge guard Chrom, which I forget to do a lot, but it's actually like not that difficult if you just remember how to place it. Pikachu's really good at covering air dodges to ledge, but it's rough for Chrom to make it back to stage, if I'm being honest. Of course, the neutral is going to be really scary because of while he does have moves that are safe on shield because he has a sword, if Pikachu ever gets in, which he's going to frequently because of T-Jolt, that can kill you, whether it's, again, Nair loops into up air bridges in general, back air, up air, back air. Like, this character is so volatile, and because Pikachu is so good at capitalizing on volatility in this game, it has to be Pikachu's favor in some level. I'm probably actually just going to put it 6-4. Whoops, wrong mouse. I'm probably just going to put it 6-4. because I do think Chrom, again, does have several good things in this matchup. The edge trapping can be very scary, the kill potential is great, juggling is okay because Chrom is pretty fast so we can cover quick attacks sometimes, but I do think Pikachu's explosiveness is going to more often than not, and by a bit more often than not, be able to defeat Chrom. I mean, even if you're losing, like, Pikachu's, or Chrom's one of those characters that if Pikachu's losing against them, it's like, cool, I can definitely come back. I'm for sure able to make it back because it doesn't matter how much I'm losing, I can get a kill and then get an edge guard, and that's very realistic. Like, that's not like, oh, well, you're just saying that because it's perfect play. It's like, no, it's realistic that that happens. It's literally happened. I've played multiple Chroms and that's happened. I did it against Mr. R when we played back like the first March of the first time we ever played, or second time we ever played, because he beat me technically the first time he played. He sent me into losers, but like being able to edge guard this character is huge. So I definitely think Pikachu wins this matchup. Okay, next up is going to be Peach, which I'm going to put in the first mystery category, the only mystery category actually, because I do think this matchup is either even or slight Pikachu's favor. As I've got better at defensive play, I do think this matchup is a little bit of a struggle for Peach, because Peach doesn't really have a way to force aggression onto Pikachu unless Pikachu is messing up and like being too close when you're shooting T-Jolts. But like, T-Jolts are great for this matchup. Being able to camp is great for this matchup. The juggling is actually fairly consistent in this matchup as long as you watch out for landing down air. Of course, Peach does have her ridiculous strengths, her counter, her combo game, her advantage state is generally fairly good versus Pikachu because up air is ridiculous and just float exists. But Pikachu's forward air is actually going to be really good in this matchup, honestly better than back air, I'm pretty sure, because one, it's safer on shield, of course, and two, forward air is actually better for comboing at low percents against Peach than back air is, because if you forward air, if Peach SDI is up, it's a very easy, like she's perfectly floating enough where you get full hop up air into landing there, which I did a ton when me and Samsora did the first to 15 for charity. If the SDI down, you can get normal up air, like short hop up air to nair. You get a lot. The hardest part of this matchup is honestly killing, because even though Peach's kill potential is kind of mediocre, her kill options are much more safe than Pikachu's in this matchup, so it's actually going to be fairly difficult for Pikachu to get consistent early kills. Granted, there are a couple of edge guarding positions which I'm trying to figure out, which I feel like can really give Pikachu the edge, because like drop down fair, drag down is actually so good against Peach. Like if she does like an early up because you're T-jolting and you're pressuring her farther out, and she does early up to just drop down and do fair fast fall, it's so good against Peach, and it's something, again, I did in the first 15 against Samsora. And I don't want to base too much of it off of Wi-Fi, because I know Peach, like, well, both Peach and Pikachu get worse on Wi-Fi. Peach gets significantly worse, so obviously that is not the case, which is why I'm still putting it in even or 55-45, but I definitely do understand why people think, like, why Peach mains could think Pikachu wins this matchup, just very slightly, because hard to hit can camp. Like, camping is so important, and just playing passive is so important, and while you can't whiff punish Peach because her landing lag is non-existent with like float bears and stuff, like it's still possible to, it's punishable out of shield float bear with if you're facing backwards. Like the reason that back air is good in this matchup is because you can back air out of shield, but at the same time the pancaking of this character of Peach is ridiculous, so you really have to make sure, depending on what you expect Peach to go for, to either be facing forward or backwards, because like fair, you can't back air out of shield because she pancakes too low, so you have to shield grab it. Just little intricacies like that, which if you miss things like that, suddenly now you're getting either full comboed, up smashed. It's a bad time, so you have to make sure that you are on point with understanding what punishes what in this matchup. But if you do that, you have your combos on lock and you have your edge guards, I do think Pikachu can win very slightly. And this is my demon matchup at first, so I'm this is crazy that I'm potentially putting in a 55-45. Next up is Cloud. Cloud is 6'4". I think the neutral of this matchup is fairly annoying for Pikachu. Like, if I ever say, like, something is annoying, I'm speaking in the perspective of Pikachu. But I do think this matchup can be kind of annoying, because neutral's obnoxious, because back air is really good, cross slash is pretty good and rewarding. Of course, he has bad grab, but he has up B out of shield, and it can be fairly obnoxious. However, the advantage state in this matchup isn't really existent, so it's like, if it's not comboing, it's not going to be that big of a deal. The edge trapping isn't going to be a big deal unless you get hit by specifically Limit Blade Beam. But I think just Pikachu having combos against Cloud, whereas Cloud doesn't really have combos except for like fair cross slash at low percents, is going to be what makes this matchup good for Pikachu. Of course, the volatility in terms of his edge guards, because I've definitely been losing and then just been like, haha, back air at 0, I won. And that definitely can happen. Because of that, I do think that Pikachu wins this matchup. Again, Pikachu can also force the issue, or at least create a situation for offense with T-Jolt run behind, and if you guess right, again, it can kill Cloud, and if Cloud is right, you take 15 or 20, I don't remember how much Cross Slash does, I think it does like 23 in this game or something, which is a lot of damage, and I don't want that to be like negligible, especially because the kill potential with Up Smash buff and Dash Attack buff when they happened is a pretty big deal. But in my opinion, it's not a big enough deal to not make the matchup pretty bad. Like, I think this is still one of Cloud's worst matchups. Of course, Cloud also gets up air bridged, which is going to be a huge deal, because even if forward air doesn't kill, or even if he drops out of the forward air, you just recover as Pikachu and then get a back air on his uppy, which is going to happen. So, like, it's kind of just free because of that, which is bad for Cloud. It makes Pikachu's combos even more deadly, and, like, of course Pikachu's going to ban the Triplats, probably, maybe Lilac, because that stage is actually really, really good for Cloud, but, like, good on the flat stages, good on, in my opinion, PS2 and Small Battlefield, which I never say Pikachu's good on PS2 against anyone, but I think it's pretty good in this matchup, as long as you're careful with landing and making sure to go to the ledge instead of trying to force your way down against Dash Attack and Up Smash. I think Pikachu's going to be fine. Next up is Corrin. I'm going to put Corrin in slight win. This is one of the matchups that I wish I had more experience in, but the only time I've ever played like a buffed Corrin is when I played Cosmos right when the patch came out, or like a couple weeks, and I definitely lost like 10-7 or something like that. But I do think, of course, the edge guarding of this matchup is going to be key. Quick attack punishing so much of what Corrin has is key, and again, Corrin does get upper bridged at least a little bit. Let me check. Yeah, 1 rep. So from like third stage in, you're going to die against Pikachu, which is absolutely insane. Of course, Corrin's kill potential is ridiculous, and the reason this matchup isn't worse, and the reason why it could potentially, in theory, be even, you could argue it, I'm sure, but like up air, back air, even up throw and pin are going to make the kill differential of this matchup probably in Corrin's favor, at least a little bit. Granted, you have Pikachu doing more damage per combo, more damage per opening, edge guarding, the edge trapping of this matchup is actually huge. But it's hard. It is hard. Corrin is so slow, so if Pikachu just wants to be passive and shoot T-Jolts and then play kind of like a campy ground game when Corrin gets close, like, that's going to be a big deal and really hard for Corrin to deal with. I think just, again, the openings that Pikachu can get are going to be much more influential than vice versa because of the mediocre disadvantage state of Corrin and the mediocre getting off of ledge. I think edge trapping, honestly, like, edge guarding is really good for this matchup if you can afford it, because of course, if you get a lingering move like a down air or a back air into Corrin's uppy as it's starting, you're going to hit Corrin once the uppy is no longer invincible. It's more than likely going to trade, which puts Pikachu back in a good position and Corrin probably dead. But even if you don't go for the edge guards, edge trapping this character is so good because you have just T-Jolt. T-Jolt forward air is so good because Corrin's really only good ledge option is like either ledge hop fair or ledge jump, but Pikachu's so good at covering ledge jump because of forward air that it becomes really, really rough for Corrin, especially if you have the T-Jolt there to force an option so that get up attack's not going to hit you. Like, it's crazy. It's so... Like, Pikachu's edge trapping is ridiculous, and it's something I definitely need to get better at, because I personally often go for edge guards, but, like, edge trapping is insane, and I think that's, like, one of the things that puts this matchup over the edge in Pikachu's favor. I definitely need to play Shattuck, because Shattuck's fucking sick. Donkey Kong! I think this matchup sucks. I think that matchup is super bad. It is 7-3 or worse. DK's recovery is worse than Bowser's, DK's disadvantage is worse than Bowser's, DK's combos are actually probably a little bit better than Bowser's, and the neutral is not going to be great because DK doesn't have a good out-of-shield option, so Pikachu shoots T-Jolt and gets pressure, and shoots T-Jolt and gets pressure, and if I hit you, you're going to die, because there are a lot of inescapable combos that DK has to deal with. There's a lot of everything DK has to deal with. The edge guarding is abysmal. It is so easy to kill this character. The only way that DK wins this matchup is if Pikachu is being careless, and that's it. That's literally it. Like, Pikachu should not be losing games in this matchup, let alone sets. Like, that's it. Like, that's all. It's so easy. It's so free. You just get T-Jolt into back air, he can't punish it. T-Jolt into forward air, can't punish it. He has to whiff punish literally everything, but he can't because he doesn't have disjoint, so a lot of times things will trade in favor of Pikachu, which is crazy that things can trade in favor of Pikachu, but it's just rough. Like, it's so hard for DK to do the right thing in this matchup, and he has to just play 100% correctly all the time. And he's not scary because Pikachu's DKO percent is fairly small, and again, you need platforms. So if you are a Pikachu player, you ban PS2 and Small Battlefield, and suddenly, things aren't going to kill you crazy early. You deal with Yoshi's, and like, because like tripods are pretty good for Pikachu in this matchup because you just kind of upper him forever if you're under the platforms and you can't get grabbed. And then T-Jolt's help for, you know, like, edge guarding, T-Jolt's help for recovery, T-Jolt, like, it's so hard. It is so hard for DK to do literally anything in this matchup. It is, like, it's rough. It is rough as hell. I think it's DK's, well, DK has a lot of losing matchups, but I think it's one of DK's worst matchups. Dr. Mario is next, and I think he's going to be somewhere in 6'4". I think Pikachu does very well versus Doc because Doc is slow as shit, and Pikachu can just kind of play passive and use down tilt, and like down tilt, edge guarding, T-jolts are of course pretty good, although he has a reflector and cape, but like Pikachu's advantage state and just neutral and edge guarding and edge trapping, because Doc also sucks at getting off the ledge, is going to be really bad. It's really hard. It's really hard for Doc to do anything, and yes, does Pikachu die sometimes early because of down B or down throw forward air, which I don't know if that works, or up B out of shield? Yeah, but Pikachu's going to control the neutral. Shoot an electric noodle, I now control neutral. I'm gonna make that joke like every time I talk about Pikachu in some facet, or like whatever character, because I made it with Min Min in the tier list. But Doc is just, he's too slow. He's too susceptible to anything, to like everything that Pikachu wants to do. And of course you do have to be careful because up B out of shield, kill potential in general, but if Pikachu's playing careful, Doc struggles to get in. And when he does, his combos are mediocre, and then if Pikachu ever gets a hit, it's going to be way worse. So, yeah, Pikachu wins. Duck Hunt, I'm also going to say 6'4". I'm not going to lie, the neutral, I'm just going to like put my cursor on him so y'all can see what I'm talking about. The neutral of this matchup is kind of annoying. Can is, of course, a really versatile projectile. Down B can stop Pikachu's T-jolts as well as aggression in general. You have the Clay Pigeon in terms of side B, which is really difficult to deal with, but when Pikachu gets a hit, of course he does have a combo escape in terms of can. So I'm not really talking in terms of combos, but the advantage state of Pikachu is going to be really good. You don't go for super long combos against Duck Hunt. You go for like Nair Loops because they're true, and then you just end with like down throw, up air, and then fight against Duck Hunt the rest of how you would. Have I fought Raito and ult? Yeah, we played, I mean, it was friendlies, but we played friendlies at CEO, and I like beat him like 6-1, it was bad. Like I beat him in like almost every game he played. It was rough. Because of the edge guarding. Pikachu throws Duck Hunt off stage, can jump T-Jolt to hit can and make it not really work anymore, and then you're going to die. Like, it doesn't matter how close this game is. Again, similar to what I said about Chrom, if you throw Duck Hunt off stage, he might die at literally any percent, because you have Thunder, you have a Spike, you have forward air, you have consistent edge guards, and it's really, really rough for Duck Hunt to make it back to stage. And when he does, again, it is rough to make it back on the ledge if you don't think you can actually get the edge guard. So it's rough. I mean, Duck Hunt's fast and has a good neutral, but again, also the fact that Duck Hunt doesn't really have consistent killing and is going to have to rely on can setups or just can in general, because Pikachu's evasive enough to avoid most things like side B back air, which is going to be a really big kill confirm for Duck Hunt, that like, Pikachu's going to be living on average to like 180 in this matchup, 160, 170, and if Pikachu is living past 130 in a matchup, that's bad, especially because Pikachu with Rage is busted because it makes his down air better, it makes Thunder stupid, it makes Nair down smash kill at like 80 at the ledge. That's bad. So I definitely think Duck Hunt's a great character, but Pikachu is just one of the characters, hard to hit, mobile, good projectile, great edge guarding, and those are the recipe for disaster against Duck Hunt. Next up's going to be Falco. I think the Falco matchup's 6'4". I think Pikachu can avoid up tilt fairly well and plays neutral very well. Edge guards this character, up air bridges this character, advantage states this character kind of to hell. Doesn't get comboed as hard as, let's say, Fox or Wolf, but doesn't have the crazy neutral that either of those characters have. So a lot of this matchup, if you just play correctly, if you, like, because Shine exists, you can't just like spam T-Jolt for approaches. You're gonna like T-Jolt to kind of like make Falco want to feel like they have to approach you, but like Pikachu's just normal aggression is so good. You have down tilt, you have forward air, which like both of those are going to be so hard for Falco to deal with, because you can't really, like, unless you like parry down tilt, in which case you got it, like you're outplaying the other person. Like parrying like neutral moves is always really difficult for just most players, so that's not really like a realistic option. It's not like it's like jump, do a move, which is going to be a lot of what people talk about, like just parry it. But Falco just, of course, has a lot. Up tilt back air going to be a kill confirm, but if you get out of those percents, like there's a lot of times when I'm at like 90 or 100 against Falco that I just like take lasers that they throw out, or like random moves that I'd see that they're gonna throw out, and I'm just like, this isn't gonna kill me, it's fine, I'll just Nair get to 110, because once you get out of like up tilt back air percent, Falco now struggles to kill, because he's either going to have to get like short hop forward air, drag down into down tilt, just random down tilts in general, or like YOLO kill moves, which is hard for him to hit with, because again, Pikachu's really good at just avoiding a lot of moves. He's really good at playing defensive and only getting hit by moves that aren't going to be that big of a deal. I've lived so consistently against Falco players till 160, 170, and again, as I mentioned with Duck Hunt, if you're going to be living till 160, 170, Pikachu definitely wins the matchup, especially with how explosive he is. So it's rough. Falco's rough. But he still, of course, does have tools. Like, this matchup's not unwinnable. Like, I think the 7-3s are when you go into, like, you should never lose this matchup type of thing. Because even Bowser's explosive enough, right? But I just think Pikachu definitely has the, like, is on the top of the hill, and Falco has to play an uphill battle the entire game. Especially because of the edge guarding. So it doesn't even matter if Falco's, like, winning in a stock. It's like, okay, cool, forward throw, forward air. And then now you're off stage. Oh, you tried to recover high because you used double jump side B, back air off stage. Oh, you did a landing thing, back air off stage. Cool, now do it again. And you take so much damage, and if you ever try to recover low, you're just gonna die. Because, like, it's so weird, his like, landing arrows aren't good enough. Like, you know, I say that, like, oh, well, you can just live as Fox sometimes, and maybe not in this matchup, but, like, Fox's, like, side beam and landing nair is actually good, whereas Falco's landing options aren't that great, so. Speaking of Fox, I think this matchup's also 6-4. I could see it in 55-45, I would agree with both, honestly, but I do think that Fox just struggles a little bit too hard. Like, because Fox is such a fast faller, he dies to early percent edge guards more than any other character, in terms of, like, down air. Like, I've down aired Light, like, near the ledge, and he just dies at, like, 10, which is insane. And he doesn't even go into tumble, so he can't tech. Fox does have a lot in this matchup because speed is crazy, because if you can play an ambiguous neutral, you have a really good time against Pikachu, because Pikachu's going to not be comfortable sitting in shield, he's not going to be comfortable moving, he's not going to be comfortable T-jolting, but at the same time, like, Pikachu can just, like, the thing about Pikachu, which is so good, is a lot of characters that are really top tier are like, you have to pick this option to, like, double jump out of combos, and that's the correct option, but then you don't have a double jump, and good luck landing, and Pikachu's like, yeah, I don't really care. So, like, you get hit by, like, up, tilt, up air, and you're like, cool, double jump out, skull bash off stage, go to ledge. And, like, well, you know, Fox's edge trapping can be scary. Like, it's not going to kill you until, like, 130 or so if you just, like, don't neutral get up into the forward smash. And it's rough. It's rough for Fox to kind of capitalize on disadvantage as hard as he does in other matchups. And because you eliminate Fox's strengths, as well as having such a crazy, like, back air, forward tilt, jab the side B down air, and, like, that can happen a lot, or just down air in general. Of course, at higher percents, Pikachu's down air hits out consistently, and it just beats Firefox because it's disjointed. So it's rough for Fox to do what he wants to do, but, like, the speed is literally the only thing that is keeping like, Fox not in worse. It might be 55-45 again, because, like, Light's amazing. Like, our sets are so fun. But, like, the sets he wins are, like, close, nail-biter craziness, except for the first set we ever played. And then when I win, I demolish him. Because Pikachu just does, like, Pikachu's wins are much more solid than Fox's are, so, I don't know. It could be 55-45. Ganondorf! This matchup sucks. This is one of the worst matchups in the game. Back air wins the matchup by itself. Nair loops win the matchup by itself. Like, Pikachu has, like, 4 different win conditions against Ganondorf, and they all win. Like, there have been games where I'm like, cool, I'm not going to back air against this Ganondorf, and then I 3-stock them. I'm like, cool, I'm only going to back air in this matchup, and then I 3-stock them. Like, this matchup sucks. I don't really feel the need to, like, super go over it. It's just like Pikachu T-Jolt doesn't have an option, back air. And if you're ever scared, just literally quick attack away from Ganondorf, and he can't up smash you. The only way Ganon can get kills is like, oh, you fast fall air dodge, up smash. But, like, you can just not. You can just, like, quick attack. It's fine. It's bad. This is really bad. It's one of the worst matchups of the game. Greninja. I think this matchup is 55-45. I definitely think Pika wins, but Greninja, of course, does have a lot of great tools. Great counter for dealing with T-Jolts, especially, like, in terms of, like, up close T-Jolts. Like, T-Jolt run behind isn't super great in this matchup, although it is good for just a camping tool in general. The only reason this matchup is in Pikachu's favor at all is because, 2 things. Dash attack is safe on shield in this matchup, because his grab is so bad. So if he tries to shield grab you, you jab him, which is bad. And then edge guarding. If Greninja, like, I've learned recently that if Greninja just, like, does a Shadow Sneak off stage, you just, like, shield it, drop shield. If you parry it, you parry it. But, like, drop shield and then just, like, run off, fast fall, downer, and it gets the kill. I did it versus Stroder a couple times the last time he played, and it was, like, bad. It was, like, bad. I was like, oh, that makes the matchup really hard, because, like, Greninja's going to get comboed really hard because he's a fast faller, so he gets nair looped forever. He gets up air bridged a little bit, at least off stage. He doesn't get up air bridged on stage because he's too much of a fast faller, kind of like Fox. But he gets, like, 1 rep on stage into, like, short hop off stage. So he still dies fairly early to combos. The Pikachu's out of shield options are great in this matchup, but of course the mobility, as I mentioned with Fox, the mobility of this matchup is going to make it somewhat more difficult, because if you are one of those Pikachus that likes to go for early back airs and early forward airs, Greninja's going to dash out, dash back, dash attack, and then do Greninja combos, which is really, really good. you have to be pretty patient in this matchup, but like Pikachu's camping is very good in this matchup in my opinion, because you get percent, of course, and again, just like the volatility of like, oh, you're at 60, you got thrown off stage, good luck making it back, is real. And then of course the ledge trapping is very, very strong for Pikachu as well, very hard for Greninja to get off if you're just covering ledge jump, and then like, that's basically it. But like if you see Greninja like charging Water Shuriken, you just like quick attack, you just like wait and then quick attack him, and then get combos off of it. A lot of times if Greninja does counters on T-Jolts, like a lot of times against Greninja, I do like T-Jolt shield, because one, a lot of, like Greninja's grab sucks, and Greninja's moves are going to be unsafe on shield. Like if Greninja down tilts your shield, I'm pretty sure you can grab it. Let me make sure. Yeah, down tilt's -12 on shield, which means it's shield grabbable by Pikachu. Dash attack is definitely shield grabbable and up smashable, so a lot of Greninja's offense is very unsafe versus Pikachu, and Pikachu can be like, T-Jolt, pick an option. And if you do a counter up, which is what a lot of Greninjas like to do, Pikachu can actually thunder it, which is a big deal. So you have to like do the counter like up and a direction, which is going to, of course, give Pikachu advantage, make Pikachu able to like hit his landing options or like quick attack with punish them or something like that. But yeah, I just think it's really, really good for Pikachu just to like because Greninja's ground options are so bad versus a defensive Pika, he's going to have to jump and do like fairs and nairs and stuff, which you can just parry. Not so much parry the fair, because you just kind of let him have that because you don't want to risk getting hit by it, but like parry the nair into like up tilt into like a full combo, which is going to be really rough for Greninja. Of course, he does have Hydro Pump for, you know, potential edge guarding, but like Skull Bashing super low and then just doing like a quick attack up and then up towards the stage is going to be really good, and unless the Greninja goes down there and counters you, in which case they got it. But like that's only like a last stock type of thing, then like you're gonna be fine. The one time I've lost to a Greninja, it was because I SD'd like 3 times. Next up is going to be Hero. This matchup might be 65-35, but I'm just going to put it in 6-4. If you don't get Zoom, you actually just die when you're getting like edge guarded. Pikachu, like the only spell that you don't want as Pikachu to like deal with is Bounce. Everything else is fine. But even then, Bounce isn't that big of a deal because Pikachu's offense in terms of like fair and back air, and of course him just playing passive and just waiting it out, is still fine. You stay close enough so that Hero isn't comfortable enough getting spells, but far enough away that he can't just like jab you or F-tilt you immediately. It's rough. It is rough for Pikachu to get hit. Like, it is rough for Hero to deal with Pikachu. Great edge guarding, great combos, pressure with T-Jolt if you don't have Bounce, which more than likely you're not going to. If you ever get, whatchamacallit, Oomph, then like that's rough for Pikachu as well. And again, if you just like see a menu, you can literally see a menu as Pika and go jump, double jump T-Jolt, and it's going to be the correct option, like no matter what. Because if they get Bounce, you just kind of drift away and quick attack to the round. If they do anything else, you're probably going to hit them with a T-Jolt and then into a landing combo. And if they shield, you now have offensive pressure. It's hard. It is really hard for Hero to do what he wants. The sword isn't good enough. He's not safe enough on shield. Pikachu out of shield's like everything he does. Of course, if he's trying to play normal sword game, then you like up B him. Like, it's hard. It is really, really hard, and that T-Jolt just like covers so much. Like, T-Jolt in general is just so good in this matchup. It's what shuts it down, and because Bounce is only for a small amount of time, you can just wait it out. Or just like, oh, I'm going to play normal offensive Pikachu, which is still very good. Like, you don't need T-Jolt to like be offensive in this game. It just helps, you know? But like, Hero doesn't, like, and the problem is also Hero doesn't really have combos. So like, even if Pika is wrong on his offense, he gets hit for like 19%, 20%, whereas Pikachu hits him at mid percent, it's still going to be like 25 or 30, and at low percent, it's going to be like 40 or 50. So it's hard. It's really rough for Hero to just keep up with the pace. Like, he needs crits. He needs like the lucky stuff, and he's not going to get it more often than not. So Pikachu's just going to win. And again, if you don't get Zoom off stage, you're actually dead. Like, you literally just die if you don't get Zoom. Because like you just like back air his up B, and you down air his up B. Like they can't go below you because you're just gonna back air it over and over again. So they have to go like slightly out, in which case you just jump back air it or down air it. It's hard. It's really rough. Next up is going to be Ike. I think Ike is 55-45. Ike is probably one of the swordies that does the best in this matchup because of his consistent kill options in terms of nair up air, nair back air, down tilt into back air, eruption on his 2-frame. Like, eruption is one of the best moves to actually kill Pikachu in the game. Ike just generally is fairly annoying to deal with because of his incredibly safe neutral with neutral air, right? Like, that's a thing, for sure. But Pikachu's edge guarding is really good in this matchup. The only thing that's hard for you to deal with in terms of Pika is like you hit them far out with like a forward air and they're just like side being high, but in which case you can still kind of like double jump backwards and thunder, and the thunder is going to hit them, or they go to ledge, and then if you get them to ledge, then you're probably going to be fine. Pikachu's combos are really detrimental in this matchup. Ike gets platform extension to hell. He gets up air bridged pretty hard as far as I remember. He's going to die to up air bridges. If you ever hit him low with like, if you just like down tilt him off stage, and like he feels like he has to recover low, you just forward smash. Like forward smash is so good at hitting Ike's recovery. T-Jolt is great for when he like has to do some, whatchamacallit, like when he has to go into certain areas for like recovery because he's not going to get enough distance. It's just rough. Of course you have quick attack in terms, like you have quick attack with punishing, although that's going to be less common because Ike is a little bit like has less lag on his aerials, like landing lag, than a lot of other swordies, or it's less obvious because his sword is huge and it's scary to mess up on as opposed to like Lucina forward air, which like doesn't really matter. I don't know what's happening at this point. Did I? Oh, was I done? Okay. New OST. So like, again, T-Jolt is going to be a huge thing in this matchup because of course if Ike shields, then Pikachu gets free pressure, and Ike's out of shield options aren't good enough to actually hit Pikachu because I didn't realize how slow up B was, but like, if you back air Ike's shield, at least when back air's fresh, right? It is -12, and you can't up B that, which is crazy. So that's a big deal. But of course, if Ike jumps, then you parry the landing nair and then do down tilt dash attack and keep Ike in disadvantage. Again, the matchup is very back and forth because Ike's killing is really good, his combos are great, his advantage is pretty strong because you have to watch out for dash attack, you have to watch out for things like eruption. But Pikachu's offensive pressure is a little too good in my opinion, as well as the edge guarding is just going to put this over the edge because the matchup is even. It's down to last stock. Pikachu like fair drag down off stage, like at the like T-Jolt into like fair caught the jump, drag off stage. Oh, they have to up E forward smash and you win. Like you just win. The defensive play of Pika is a little bit too strong, as well as the edge guarding. So I think Pika wins this matchup. Like I know at the very least Raven King agrees that Pikachu wins. I don't know how hard he thinks Pikachu wins, but I mean 55-45 is winning, so like whatever. Incineroar, 65-35. The only reason I don't put it as worse than this is because he can deal with T-Jolt and he kills you so early because Incineroar's killing is really consistent because he has 2 frames. Like down tilt back is crazy. Like otherwise Pikachu does everything else in the matchup. Like that's the only saving grace is like revenge and kill potential, because otherwise Pikachu just wins. Like Pikachu's with punish play is really good. He nair loops you, he upper bridges you, he keeps you in disadvantage, he outspeeds you, it's bad. It's just bad. Like he does everything else. But like if you're not passive enough in the neutral, you're gonna get slapped by Incineroar sometimes. So like that's why you just lose. Like, it's really bad. It's not good. This matchup's not good. Have you noticed the type of characters that do really poorly versus Pikachu, by the way? Next up is Inkling. Pikachu definitely beats Inkling. It's not bad, but it's like, I wouldn't put this in like, potentially it's even. Just because, again, the ability for Pikachu to solid out stocks does not exist with Inkling. The ability for Inkling to camp does not exist compared to Pikachu's. And otherwise, both have very similar strengths. We have solid combos, we have solid advantage states, our neutrals are really good. But like that's literally it. If Pikachu decides to play passive, it's really hard for Inkling to get kills. As long as you're aware that like anytime you do something as Pikachu, just DI up, you're gonna be fine. Because one big thing that happens in this matchup, honestly, is like the swing factor is like, oh, you got hit by like a landing backer or a landing nair, and then you got tech chased into roller into death. But if you're doing things correctly as Pikachu, whereas like you do an aerial or like a something and then DI up, suddenly those aren't going to put you into tech chase situations, which means you're not going to die below what, 140 in this matchup, because like up throw up air isn't going to happen for the most part. I've literally got hit by 2 up throw up airs ever, and they were both in friendlies. Like more than likely you're not going to like get up throw up air by Inkling. It's a 1% window. I feel like the stages all favor Pika, because like Inkling's best stages in my opinion Pika does well on as well. So, I mean, granted, Inkling doesn't get upper bridge as far as I'm aware. Yeah, it's only off stage, so you don't really get upper bridge that hard, which is good for Inkling. But I do still think overall that Pikachu just has a little bit more of the edge in terms of soliding out stocks because you have nair down smash and just a kill throw that's better than Inkling's, more consistent. Some kill confirms that Pikachu just doesn't, or sorry, that Inkling doesn't have. You're going to need specifically like, in order to get early kills as Inkling, like up smash out of shield because Pikachu's being aggressive. But like you can just not. Like you can just not. You can just do like T-Jolt down air to hit the shield, hit their back, and then they can't do anything about it. Like, it's rough. Isabelle! This matchup is somewhere between 6'4 and 65-35. It's really hard for Isabelle to actually pressure Pikachu because T-Jolt. There isn't a lot of pressure that Isabelle puts on because T-Jolt into run is so good because even though Isabelle has the Lloyd Rocket she can plant in the ground as well as like, wait, how am I streaming for an hour and 20 minutes? Oh god, I gotta like talk faster. Like she has like some options, but like her out of shield isn't great. Her edge guarding, of course, or not edge guarding, her recovery is good for terms of distance, but Pikachu just destroys it all day. So Pikachu's like out of shield options, combos, damage, everything is better. Like literally every single aspect of what Isabelle has, Pikachu just has it better. Except for like short hop projectile. Like that's it. Like it's not good. Like this matchup sucks. Like every time I'm like, oh, this matchup's kind of even. I threw them off stage at 30%. Back air, down air, thunder, like dead. Like happens twice a game, or at least once a game. It's really hard. It's really, really hard for Isabelle to recover, and she doesn't have the swing factors that Villager does. Yeah, no, this matchup's 65-35. It's rough. Like pocketing T-Jolt doesn't matter. So like, what does she do? What does Isabelle do? I don't know. Next up is Joker. Which Joker? Listen, I struggle with this character a decent amount. Obviously, I've lost to Sharp online, I've lost to Leo a couple times, but I do think the things that puts Pika over the edge, and the only reason this matchup's not even because the neutral's a pain in the ass, and I'll get into all that later, is up air bridges. Joker gets up air bridged across the entire stage, so you will get guaranteed stocks at like 35 to 40, which is really, really, really good. Otherwise, this matchup's a pain in the ass. Edge guarding him is actually fairly difficult because Joker's recovery, while bad, is very versatile. His movement is great. T-Jolt is good in this matchup, but like you don't, like there's so many annoying instances in this matchup where like you don't feel like you can T-Jolt because he's gonna just like get a bunch of stage and you're gonna get like fair up air down smash. Like the kill potentials in this game are like, the kill differential is definitely in Joker's favor unless you're getting consistent edge guards, which is again very difficult. It's just like Joker's so hard to deal with. Guns are hard. Like his advantage states, or his disadvantage is really good against Pika. So like Pika doesn't really advantage state him a lot, which is rare because you do that a lot against Pika, or as Pika rather. So it's rough. It's hard to consistently win neutral. It's hard to win neutral at all. And granted, of course, Joker's not like doing a ton of damage when he wins neutral, but like it doesn't matter because then he's gonna hit you with a side B, hit you with a gun. Arsene exists, so like suddenly now you're dying at 80, 60 if you get down aired. Like quick attack on shield is down airable. Like that's wild. So you have to play so careful in this matchup, but if you're playing super careful, then you're not gonna get the openings that you need as Pikachu to like do well. So it's hard. Like it's not easy. But again, upper bridges are literally the saving grace in this matchup. And I'm very excited to implement them versus Joker's when offline comes back. Yay, Leo, I'm coming for you, even if maybe Sephiroth, but we'll see that later. Next up is Puff. I think this matchup's not actually that bad for Puff. It might be 55-45. No, it's 6-4. I think Puff, literally, you don't play this matchup normally. You don't play this matchup with back air or forward air or anything in neutral. You do T-Jolts and up tilt and up air and grab, and that is it. That is the entirety of how you play this matchup. You do up tilt, up air, wait, up air, T-Jolt, up, like that's it. Those are like the 4 moves you use, and then you can like try to kill her off the side with like a forward air or like a nair down smash on her like edge trapping. But like this character, you can't forward air, you can't back air because she just crouches under it and then down airs you. It's hard. It's not an easy matchup. Like I could see it in 55-45. I don't actually know how hard dare loops affect Pikachu. I'm assuming they're not that bad, but like playing this character can be a real pain in the ass. You gotta play very, very different, like very, very different. Granted, if you play that way, it's still bad because like Puff has no options to beat those moves, especially T-Jolt. Like T-Jolt up tilt, like especially like the later up tilt, which is safer on shield or safer just in general because like you're gonna be able to shield. It's so hard for Puff to deal with because tail's a disjoint. For some reason, they made Pikachu's tail a disjoint. But yeah, I think it's 6-4. Ken, I think this matchup 6-4. I think Ken's inability to camp and bad Tatsu make this matchup fairly easy. Like, Ken's Tatsu is not a combo tool against Pika because you, as a small character, SDI up and then landing Nair into whatever, depending on percents, whether it's a kill option in terms of Nair up smash, Nair down smash, Nair grab to throw off stage or to start combos at low percent, Nair up tilt, whatever, you get the point. It's really, really rough. It's rough for Ken to do what he wants. Then Pikachu, of course, because he's small, gets oftentimes like Sour Spot Shoryus, like with SDI. So it's just hard to kill. It's hard to kill Pika. It is hard to kill Pika. That's like the best thing Ken has, and it's hard to combo Pika. So like, if you don't have those two things, and then you have to deal with T-Jolt, like what are you gonna do? Dedede! This matchup's 65-35. It's not as bad as these. T-Jolt, forward air. He has super armor on his up B, which is the reason it's less bad. He has multiple jumps, so his disadvantage is a little better. But it's still bad. It's still rough. Like, Pikachu just can camp. Like, if you T-Jolt as Pikachu, Dedede can do nothing. That's it. Like, that's it. Like, you just camp, and you win. Like, I was down an entire stock against Zaki at EVO, or like a lot of a stock, and I was just like, time to T-Jolt, and then I like 2-stocked him. Like, it was like 3-stock, like 50% to 2-stock, and then like I 2-stocked him with like 80. Because I just camped. I was just like, we're playing neutral. Pikachu, 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 and that was it. That's all I did, and it wins. It doesn't matter that Dedede can kill, because you don't let him kill you. It doesn't matter that he can do all these things, because he's so slow. Like, he's so slow, and you just don't let him do anything to you, and he can't deal with T-Jolt at all. Rool, this one's in worse. Because he gets edge guarded. His projectiles are not good versus Pikachu, especially Cannonball. But like, he can't do anything. He literally is just like, I'm gonna try to play neutral, and Pikachu's like, no. It's like, I'm gonna try to hit you, and Pikachu's like, no. I'm gonna try to camp, no. I'm gonna try to recover, no. I'm gonna try to get off ledge, no. And Pikachu's just like, every single aspect of this matchup is horrible. Even with the buffs, it's still bad. It's really, really, really hard for Rool to do anything in this matchup, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like, this matchup sucks. Kirby, this matchup low-key kind of hard. And by hard, I mean Pikachu wins, but slightly. The neutral of this matchup's kind of a pain in the ass. If Kirby gets T-Jolt, that matchup becomes 50-50. But for the most part, he's not going to have that. So yeah, Kirby's neutral's kind of difficult to deal with. Like, the only thing Pikachu has in this matchup is camping, because up close, it's really hard, because Kirby's down tilt and forward tilt are better than Pikachu's down tilt. You can combo Kirby pretty hard, but you don't like super combo him unless you're on like Yoshi's or something for like upper bridges, because he doesn't really get upper bridge. He doesn't really get anything. He just kind of like gets hit a couple times, and you can play advantage against Kirby because you still have like up air, because Kirby's air mobility is kind of bad, which is one of the things that pushes into Pikachu's favor. But like, the neutral's a pain in the ass in this matchup. If you're not just camping, like if you're not just committed to like, I'm going to camp, like this matchup's hard. Matchup's really hard, but like granted, like that's why like the reason people say like ultimate is camping is because when like top tiers play mid or low tiers, it's just like camp and you win, because a lot of the problem with mid and low tiers is they're slow. So Kirby's slow, so you just kind of say like, nope, I'm just committing to not fighting, and then Pikachu wins. But when Pikachu gets T-Jolt, suddenly that's not an option. So then you have to fight. Of course, edge guarding Kirby is real and very possible and not that difficult, which is bad for Kirby, of course. But like, you die so early. You get things like forward smashed, you get dash attack 2-framed, like, it's not easy. This matchup is not easy. You have to very much so be disciplined to like do well in this matchup, because it's hard. Link. I'll put Link at 55-45 somewhere. Again, these aren't ordered yet. But Link, actually, you don't really have problem with Bomb Link. Bomb Link is actually not that big of a deal for Pikachu to deal with. But like, he got Big Sword. That sword kills. It hurt. Again, this is one of the matchups that it's edge guarding and upper bridges are what make it like bad, because otherwise I think it's very, very good for Link. Because he has great out of shield option in terms of up B, which hits everything Pikachu wants to do. He can wall Pikachu out, because of course he can always do like, if you catch an early like aerial, you get like dash back boomerang forward air, which kind of hurts. But again, Link does get comboed. He gets upper bridged, and he gets edge trapped and edge guarded. Like the edge guarding, if you can get to a Link before they have time to like pluck bomb, like it's gonna be really, really good for it's just kills. It actually just kills Link, especially like Skull Bash is actually really good in this matchup to edge guard, because you just like, you hit them off and you're just like jump Skull Bash, and they're like pull bomb, get hit, die. So I think Link does have a lot of tools in this matchup, again, for sure, because like the kill potential is really, really good. He has solid throw combos, he has solid advantage, because even if he's not going to like actually hit Pikachu with like an aerial or something, he's still going to like throw boomerang, get a bomb, throw arrow, but Pikachu does win slightly. Little Mac gets back aired and T-jolted and dies. The edge guarding's super free. The neutral's kind of annoying, but if you have T-jolt, you can always, like, Pikachu gets the guess. And Pikachu's guesses are going to matter more than Little Mac's. I can see 65-35. Let me put it through. He's 65-35 because if he up smashes out of shield and he has armor and he 2-frames Pikachu, you can exist. But like, this matchup sucks. Like, these matchups still suck. I don't know if it's 73 or 65-35. It doesn't matter. These are all bad. I almost had 65-35 and worse as a category, but it's bad. Lucario! So remember how earlier I said, yeah, there's like a bad character that Pikachu also doesn't do well versus, like Ice Climbers? It's Lucario. This matchup's a pain in the ass. You cannot T-Jolt because his counter is too good. Aura's really scary, so if you don't get things like Pikachu doesn't have like the range or just like raw kill moves to just kill Lucario. He doesn't have like the kill confirms like other characters do. But yeah, Lucario's actually really annoying to deal with. His projectile, if he has a little bit of aura, starts beating T-Jolt. He can counter T-Jolt. His recovery is kind of awkward to deal with because he can go super far. Granted, of course, you have like options to punish that. But like generally, the neutral's not going to be easy in this matchup. And Lucario, even though he doesn't get a lot, because he has a good projectile, kind of like Samus can just like, cool, I'm controlling neutral. Like Lucario controls neutral more often than Pikachu does. It's just that Pikachu gets the hit, and it matters. Like Pikachu's hits matter a lot more than Lucario's. And getting edge guards is consistent enough, or like getting like advantage state type of like situations or edge guards and edge traps and stuff like that is consistent enough that Pikachu still wins. But like if someone really wanted to argue even, I wouldn't disagree. Like this matchup is definitely not easy for Pikachu. Again, just like he kind of just like the slight being top tier and just like I can go to platforms with quick attacking and I can camp. Like if Pikachu gets a stock lead, in theory as Pikachu, you play for timeout. You don't try to hit Lucario, you hit him for like 20% and then just run. And you just run and you run and that's it. Because like no percent Lucario sucks. That matchup's like fucking no percent Lucario is like fucking here. It sucks. But then he gets aura too consistently in this matchup, and like so sometimes like at least once a game I would say Pikachu's probably dying at like 50. That's bad. But the other two stocks are probably not going to. So 55-45. Lucas. Lucas, we got our first even matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! I can't believe it. Lucas is an even matchup. The reason I say it's even and not Pikachu loses is because Pikachu's advantage state is so strong in this matchup. And I'll get into like the other even stuff in a little bit. But Pikachu's advantage state and edge trapping is too strong against Lucas. Lucas does not have a good way to get off the ledge if you preemptively do forward airs to stop him from ledge jump, double jump zairing. If you hit him, again, he's one of the characters that you end your combos with like up tilt up air and keep him above you. Because if you keep him above you, you just up air him because he doesn't have great landing aerials unless you let him get too close to the ground, but you just don't. You just up air him in the air, and if he air dodges you landing in air into up tilt and do it again. Pikachu's advantage is very good in this matchup. However, if he didn't have that, it would be a losing matchup because what Lucas has is the ability to deal with T-Jolt because of Magnet, great combos, 3 different kill throws, so the kill potential of this character is going to be very consistent. His defensive play is so good in this matchup because a lot of times if people have defensive play, Pikachu's like, okay, shoot at T-Jolt, get him in the corner, edgeguard them. But you can edgeguard Lucas, I'm not gonna lie, but it is hard because he does have a tether. But if he's too far to tether, or you cover the tether, you skull bash his, or you down air or skull bash his recovery, skull bash before the Pika Thunder hits him, or down air after it hits him. So you can still get that, but a lot of times he's going to be able to tether. You can't really use high thunders against this character. You can't really do a lot of what you want to do. You can't play neutral the way you want. Lucas's aerials are all dummy safe on shield except for neutral air. It's his most unsafe aerial, and that is still, Nair is still -9 or -10. So granted, you do get back aired or naired every single time you do that. But otherwise, unless you're down airing for some reason, like you're safe. Except for like a bad back air that's not spaced. Like, it's hard. It's hard to add a shield this character unless he's doing an air. It's hard to play defensive Pika. You just have to somehow find a way in safely and then hit Lucas and then keep him in advantage as long as possible. And if you're bad at doing that, this matchup feels awful. It feels so bad. So, yeah, Lucas does well. Pichu is 55-45, Pikachu's favor. Oh, it's over there now. Basically, both of them have T-Jolt for approaches. Both of them have great combos. Both of them have good edge guarding, both of them have good kill potential. But because Pichu is lighter, up throw Thunder for Pichu and up throw for Pikachu are going to kill around the same percents because up throw Thunder for Pichu is a late combo starter. However, Pikachu then has dash attack, Nair up smash, Nair down smash, and general edge guarding is going to kill Pichu earlier than Pichu will kill Pikachu. Pichu's T-Jolt is a little bit more difficult to deal with as Pika than vice versa because it, is stronger, it has more shield stun and stuff like that. But the problem is Pichu's does damage. So if you're willing to both camp, Pikachu's winning. If Pichu wants to camp, you jump on platforms and shield because he's going to slowly hurt himself and he cannot approach. If Pichu has a loss, he needs to do some crazy combo to come back, which is very, very difficult for him to do. Pikachu's just more consistent and he gets better 2-framing because Pichu's 2-frame is worse. He just does what you want. Granted, if you get a jab block like Pichu is arguably more explosive in this matchup, but again, Pichu's gonna die so early compared to Pikachu that like Pikachu has to win. Like the kill potential is so far in Pikachu's favor, because like Nair down smash kills at like 80 at the ledge with no rage. Up throw kills at 135. No rage, 110, sometimes with rage, I'm pretty sure. It's rough. It's hard for both of them to like play safely against each other, but Pikachu's playing safer in terms of camping is better because he doesn't hurt himself. Lucina! I think the matchup's 55-45 Pikachu's favor. So the neutral's really fun in this matchup, honestly. Lucina's one of my favorite matchups to play, but T-Jolt, of course, is going to make Pikachu's offense, like, I can choose when neutral happens. I can camp, I can edge trap, I can keep an advantage, but Lucina's advantage and edge trapping is actually fairly good in this matchup. It's hard to get back on the ledge or on stage against Lucina because if they guess right, you're going to get hit, and Lucina, again, consistent kill power, kind of what I said with Chrom, it's going to be a big deal. However, the thing that pushes this matchup over the ledge, other than T-Jolt, is going to be Quick Attack, because against swords, Quick Attack with punishing is so good, because if the Lucina ever jumps, I should be hitting Lucina 99% of the time, because I can just dash backwards and quick attack their landing and then combo them. Or like shield because they're going to up B and then combo them. And that happens a lot. Like it happened when I played Leo, it happened when I played Mr. E, it happens when I play any Lucina I ever play. I get quick attacks and it starts my offense and it's crazy good for me. I really enjoy this matchup, but again, Lucina does have a lot of strong suits because Pikachu's going to die more consistently earlier than Pikachu, although sometimes I've played defensive enough and like campy enough that I'm starting to die from up throw only with Lucina, which is great. But Shield Breaker going to be a good option, back air, F tilt, up air, just like general kill moves that Lucina has because everything that Lucina has kind of kills. It's good. But I think T-Jolt and Quick Attack kind of push it over the edge, because otherwise I would say it's even, because like obviously Pikachu has better combos, but Lucina's like spacing is better and stuff. But like T-Jolt is so good. Like T-Jolt is so good versus Swordies in this game. Maybe I was just dumb and didn't realize how good T-Jolt was in other games, but I feel like it's better in this game. Maybe it's just because you can't power shield it. I don't know. It's crazy. It moves so good. Luigi, 55-45, because even though edge guarding is kind of difficult, you still will get edge guards. This matchup's very swingy, so it could be 50-50, and I wouldn't disagree. Like, I see Elegance like, this matchup's even, and I'm like, okay, I think Pikachu wins, but it's a fair opinion, especially because we just played the other day, and it was, what, 10-8 his favor? Granted, lol Wi-Fi, but I think that makes both of us worse, so I'm not going to hold that over either of us. But, yeah, Luigi just has a lot of options against Pikachu. Great out of shield options. Pikachu cannot dash attack in this matchup at all, unless it's a 100% guaranteed punish, because you get up B'd every single time and die at 40. Pikachu can't really kill Luigi very easy unless you get edge guards, so you're going to have to get things like Nair down smash, up throws. I mean, granted, you get like a lot of like back throw, jump, shoot T-Jolt forward airs at higher percents, but other than that, it's hard. Like, it is not easy for Luigi to, or sorry, it's not easy for Pikachu to just play neutral against Luigi because he has great out of shield options. He has, of course, his amazing grab, Fireball, and Zera both good in this matchup, but I do think Pikachu's camping, if you really commit to it, is pretty good in this matchup, as well as you're going to get edge guards, I feel like more frequently than Luigi's going to get 0-to-deaths. So, like, that swing factor is slightly in Pikachu's favor, but it's not an easy matchup. Like, this is probably the hardest 55-45. Again, I can totally see it being even 100%, but I do think I'm going to put Pikachu in winning for now. I mean, again, 50-50, not the farthest stretch. Mario! I'm putting Mario in even. Can deal with T-Jolt fine, right? Because he has Cape. He has good air mobility. He has great combos. He has pretty consistent two-framing with terms of dash attack, F-smash, things like that. But the problem is a defensive Pikachu is very good against Mario. If you are playing bait and punish and you are committed to playing bait and punish, and then you hit him up and you up air and then you play advantage state, Pikachu can do very well in this matchup. If you just decide to up air Mario, that's it. I definitely think that it's not Pikachu's favor. Hell no. Mario has too many tools. It is not in Pikachu's favor. But it's even. I think defensive Pika is so good in this matchup. Granted, Mario has amazing airspeed, and if he just like catches you with just like dash grab, suddenly you're taking a ton of percent or maybe dying. But a lot of times Pikachu is just going to ban the stages that Mario is good on, which would be in like if you had like 2 bans, I'd probably ban, like I always ban, PS2 and Battlefield, because actually Yoshi's isn't that bad in the matchup because you can kind of play very defensive and like run off in T-Jolt and stuff like that, which I think it's actually better for Pikachu than Battlefield in the matchup, which is kind of crazy. Pikachu can recover safe enough, like you get 2-framed, which is really annoying. You want to save your jump as much as you can with Pikachu, so doing like double jump T-Jolts honestly isn't worth it when you're recovering. Just like recover low, Skull Bash, Quick Attack, you're going to need your jump at some point because Flood can be a pain in the ass and you can get edge guarded. But if you Skull Bash low enough, you're probably not going to get edge guarded too hard. Quick Attack can be used for whiff punishing. So again, if Mario has to stay on the ground as well, because if Mario doesn't stay on the ground, then Pikachu gets under Mario with like parrying the fireball that he probably threw, and then like up tilting. And that can be a really big deal for Mario, because like getting hit by that one time, you can suddenly take 50 to 70% just from juggle situations, like up tilt, up air, up air. Okay, you landed on a platform, short hop, up air, short hop, up air. Okay, cool, they jumped off the platform. Try to hit their landing, or they ran off the platform, now they're in the corner, because you still can edgeguard Mario. I think it's a pain in the ass to edgeguard Mario, because up B is really good, but if you stay close to the ledge, you can still get down airs, and also, again, edge trapping Mario is very strong, because the best option Mario has to like deal with Pikachu's like T-Jolt forward air stuff is like ledge hop up air. But again, if you ledge hop up airs, like, and you're more defensive, if you're just holding shield, then you hit him. And if he ledge jumps, then you like roll towards center and then up, like try to play the juggling game again, because the juggling is really important in this matchup. So I do think Pikachu has enough tools to beat Mario. And another important thing that I really want to mention is that if you parry Mario's short hop back air on landing, it is punishable by F tilt every single time. So Mario cannot do safe aerials on shield against Pikachu if you are ready and committed to playing defensive and parrying. Of course, Mario does have his crazy combos, and his two-framing is great, and he has a good out-of-shield option in terms of up B, so Pikachu can't really pressure him, which is why you're playing more defensive as this character. Like, the only safe move you have on shield in this matchup is down tilt. Like, that's it. Or everything else is punishable by up B, or like grab or up smash or something like that. I actually think it's fairly hard for Mario to kill Pikachu, also. Unless you're getting like F smash 2 frames, in which case like you got it. But like the kill potential to me is like kind of even, because Pikachu will eventually get like parry down smashes and stuff like that, or like grab, down throw, forward air, up throw, etc., etc. But like it's not easy. It's definitely not easy of a matchup. It's even. And I think if you're not super good at juggling, which almost no Pika is, it's probably losing. But if you are good at defense and juggling, it's even. Marth. I think Marth is a slightly worse matchup than Lucina is, because everything I said about Lucina, but then the kill differential generally gets better for Pikachu because Marth tippers are inconsistent, and yeah, you're just not gonna kill consistently, and that sucks. And so everything that I said about Lucina in terms of like she has good this, she has good that, Marth also has that, but sometimes you're getting hit for even less percent or less knockback. So I think like, especially if because Marth has to space, that's gonna just lead to easy quick attack whiff punishes, because he's gonna be in the perfect spot to just like dash slightly backwards and then whiff punish with quick attack. But ESAM didn't let you bring it again. He's the best player in the world, shut up. Mega Man! This matchup is also 6-4. Oh no, the 7-3s went away. Oh no, we can't see them because I have 2 rows. This matchup is Mega Man's worst matchup, probably. Pikachu just brute forces his way in. It doesn't matter how much defense Mega Man is playing, Pikachu will get in. Forward air will beat the pellets, back air will beat the pellets, you will get hit, you will get comboed, you get upper bridge forever. You get edge guarded. Like, the advantage state of this character is so strong in this matchup. Pikachu beat pre-patch Mega Man, and pre-patch Mega Man was arguably a top 3 character in the game when he had Pellet, Leaf Shield into Metal Blade Death. Like, Pikachu still beat Mega Man then, and Mega Man's only got worse, and granted, of course, he still does have, like, Z-drop stuff, but, I think Pika just absolutely destroys Mega Man. Like, the reason Kamame went Wario versus me when we played at Thunder 3 was because we played friendlies in Pika Mega Man. I was drunk. I beat him like 7-8 games in a row. Like, and Kamame is I would say like an equal player to me. Like, he's very good. He's an amazing player, and I just didn't lose. Like, I was 2-stalking him like consistently because Pikachu I'm going to forward air the pellets and I'm going to get in. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, what about his edge trapping? Like, if you're patient as Pikachu getting off the ledge, all he has is forward smash and like trying to read your jumps with forward air and back air. But if you're patient, you're chilling. And that's going to be a big deal. This matchup's not easy. The advantage state for Pikachu is so good. The edge guarding, everything about this matchup is good for Pika. Because even like Leaf Shield, like if you hit him high enough, if you're trying to like advantage state him, you would try to do it high up, because otherwise he's going to get landing downer or landing Leaf Shield. So you do it high up, and if he air dodges, you hit his air dodge and then maybe hit him off stage or hit him to ledge and just kill him. It's hard. It's hard. Meta Knight. This matchup actually not that bad. Does Meta Knight get full? Oh, Meta Knight get full repped. I'm going to put Meta Knight at 6-4 somewhere. Meta Knight's neutral is actually very, very even with Pika's. It is really hard to aggress onto Meta Knight because of his multiple jumps and down air camping. He can two-frame He can edge guard Pikachu fairly well because of Tornado. He can, of course, like do like run-off nairs and stuff. The problem is, of course, Pikachu doesn't really get comboed by Meta Knight, especially, like, sometimes what I do is I just, like, am aggressive at the beginning, try to hit them. If I get hit by a couple up airs, I'm like, cool, now I'm out of the combo range, so now you're not going to kill me unless you, like, raw forward smash or down B or something like that. Sometimes you do have to be careful T-jolting in this matchup because of down B, and it can punish you and kill you mega early because that move is dummy strong. But, like, Meta Knight just doesn't really have a game plan except don't get hit, but then if Pikachu's also like, I'm also not going to get hit. Or if I hit you, I'm going to deal a lot more damage because he's really easy to combo. You get up air bridged the entire stage. So like kill confirms are going to be really easy against him. He's light, so even if you get things like, you can edge trap him with things like, of course, it's like all his normal options, but if you get a Nair down smash, like that's going to be rough. You do have to be careful because, again, you can't like charge forward smash because he will just like get off ledge and down B you. But it's not easy. It's not easy for Meta Knight to do what he needs to do. Mewtwo! This matchup's also barely Pikachu's favor. It is Pikachu's favor because the kill potential, because Mewtwo's so light, is like fairly even actually. Granted, like Mewtwo's fair and Shadow Ball and stuff are stronger, but I think Pikachu's overall just advantage state and like edge guarding and just edge trapping, it's so hard for Mewtwo to get off the ledge. It is so hard for Mewtwo to get off the ledge. If you don't have like an get out of jail free option on the ledge, like Pikachu edge traps you to filth. And Mewtwo's no exception. Of course, he can technically deal with T-Jolt because he has Side B, although if you read that and then you like full hop over it, you're gonna get like a landing Nair or a landing down air for damage. But like Mewtwo just doesn't have enough combos, honestly. Like if you're not just gonna get hit by raw Shadow Balls, like Shadow Ball dash attack, Shadow Ball stuff, like you're not really gonna be taking a ton of damage per hit. So Pikachu's kind of fine on that end. Whereas Mewtwo's gonna get comboed to hell because he's huge. You can accidentally hit Mewtwo a lot, of course. Shield pokes are really big in this matchup. But, like, I don't think it's easy. Like, I could totally see this matchup being even if Mewtwo got, like, a little bit more of a buff, or there's, like, a really, really good Mewtwo player who, like, I just don't know potential of, like, oh, this character can actually do these things. But as far as I'm aware, he doesn't, it won't, so it's not, again, it's not easy. You have to know what you're doing. But Mewtwo's definitely slightly not good enough to be even. Like, he's missing, like, one thing, which I guess would be, like, a better disadvantage. Because, like, even if he teleports to the other side of the stage, so it's like, okay, cool, I reacted to teleport, and then I quick attacked over there. These aren't, like, 55-45s aren't unwinnable matchups. I think even 6-4s are winnable. I've lost to Light. I've lost a set to a Cloud because I SD 3 times. I've lost to Mr. R. I can lose to Fatality. Am I likely to? No. But can I? Yeah. It's not like losing a matchup 45-55 is like the end of the world. Like, it's not like, oh my god, this matchup is unwinnable, impossible, it cannot win, might as well pick up a secondary. Like, no. Unless you're like a top player and you're just like, I'm frustrated because these characters counter my playstyle, then you leave. Mii Brawler. I'm gonna put Mii Brawler in 55-45. Obviously, depending on the moveset, it's gonna go 55-45 or 6-4, but Mii Brawler's not easy to deal with. The saving grace of this matchup is edge guarding, because I think neutral's fairly consistent. But like fairly even. I mean, you have T-Jolt, which is gonna like help a lot. But like for like compared to most characters, because you have a good Nair, you have just the ability to do, your jump is so good you can just like kind of like jump waveland on platforms and kind of bait Pikachu. T-Jolt does help a lot though, and it's going to again force, like Pikachu can force the momentum, whether it's I'm gonna camp, you have to approach me, or whether it's I'm going to T-Jolt and try to aggress onto you. The combos are pretty good in this matchup, but he is very fast volley, so you have to be careful to do very fast faller combos. But like, Mii Brawler has good out of shield options, because I don't know if I would use Thrupper in this matchup, but like frame 3 out of shield options really good, or you have the 10 frame either side, so that would make forward air safe. Of course, he has good kill potential if you are using Thrupper. That's basically it. Like, I think you kind of need Thrupper in this matchup, personally, because, like, if you're not killing Pikachu, like, below, again, 130, 140, like, you're not gonna win the matchup. And when Brawler doesn't have Thrupper, he kind of struggles because he needs things like up smashes or back airs. But, like, again, Pikachu's so versatile and so, like, fluid in terms of movement and where he can be because of quick attack, that it's hard to land those type of moves, so you kind of need, like, an out-of-shield option that kills, or you need, like, oh, you were greedy up there, I'm gonna up-beat you. So I don't know. I think the matchup, like, it could, I mean, I think it's either 55-45 or 6-4. It might be 6-4. I would put 55-45 for now. Mii Gunner. So, honestly, I'm going to put Gunner at 55-45. It's kind of difficult to deal with some of Gunner's projectiles. A saving grace of this matchup for Gunner is up smash out of shield. Up smash out of shield is very good, and it kills very early. It's frame, like, it punishes dash attack, so this is also one of the matchups that dash attack is very, very risky, especially at higher percents, because, like, up smash is really, really strong. The edge guarding, like, I think the thing that makes this matchup 55-45, maybe 6-4, is the edge guarding, and of course, like, Pikachu's general advantage state. It's hard for Gunner to get back to the ground. It's hard for Gunner to get back on stage. Obviously, I don't think most Gunners use Shine, but you could in this matchup, I suppose. But, like, the general zoning of this character is kind of difficult to deal with. Pikachu has to weave and bob through, like, missiles and the bomb and the smoke bomb and stuff like that. Just, like, generally, Gunner Like, if you can get through that as Pikachu, you're gonna win, because your advantage is gonna be super strong. And like, you're gonna hit by 4 projectiles even on the way, but then every time you hit them, you're gonna deal that much damage anyway. So I would definitely say Gunner wins. It's probably 6-4. It's probably 6-4. I'm gonna put it at 6-4. It's not an easy 6-4. It's one of the hardest 6-4s, but it's a 6-4. Just because like Gunner doesn't have enough to like, if Gunner had more to aggress onto Pika, like if Pika's winning, I'm not sure what Gunner does. But if it's even, then like obviously Gunner has their game plan. Swordfighter is also 6-4 because you do sword things like with Punish. You very easily deal with Tornado and Chakram. You edge guard. I don't know what Gunner, or I don't know what Swordsman's supposed to do in this matchup. It might be 65-35. This matchup sucks. Like, Swordsman doesn't have good aerials in the matchup, doesn't have good combos, doesn't have a good recovery, doesn't have a good neutral. So I'm not sure what Swordsman's supposed to do. I don't know what's good. I'm gonna put him down. I'm 65-35. I literally don't know what this character's supposed to do in this matchup, besides like hope for down tilts and stuff. I don't know. Like, Pikachu deals with the projectiles so well, and edge guards, and like, yeah, I don't know. Min Min can keep Pikachu out fairly well because it's Min Min, and that's what she does. But Pikachu's strengths in this matchup are so insane. Pikachu gets a hit, combos his character to hell. Min Min gets full up air bridge, I'm pretty sure. So you can kill from anywhere on stage. The edge guarding, of course, is hilarious. It's really, really hard for Min Min to get back on the stage, or just to the ledge at all. If they ever commit to a smash attack on the ground, they're gonna get quick attacked. And you kind of have to commit to smash attacks on ground sometimes, because otherwise you're not gonna be doing enough damage to keep up with Pikachu at all. So it's rough. It is rough for this character. I think it's one of Min Min's worst. It's either Min Min's worst or second worst matchup. I really want to play the Sheik matchup as Min Min, like, so I can just understand why it's so bad. But I think Min Min just does super well. Or sorry, I think Pikachu does super well versus Min Min. And like, yeah, you gotta be careful, and you can't just like T-Jolt for free because you're gonna get, whatchamacallit, you're gonna get hit. And you can't dash attack their shield because you're gonna get up smash. But you just do use aerials. And it's really, really hard for Min Min to do anything. Oh my god, chat. We are finally at a losing matchup for Pikachu, which is Mr. Game & Watch. Pikachu loses a matchup. That's crazy. Game & Watch. Pikachu loses this matchup. It could be 4-6. I'm not sure. But Pikachu struggles with a lot in this matchup. Like, Pikachu has good things, and I'll get into them later, but Pikachu struggles with a lot. Because Nair is safe on shield. Well, if it's stale, I guess it's not, because you can Nair it. But you cannot T-Jolt. You cannot be aggressive because up B... Sorry, you can't T-Jolt because of Bucket. You cannot be aggressive because up B out of shield punishes literally everything you have, except maybe fully space forward smash. You can barely edge guard this character. It's hard to edge trap him because of ambiguous animations. You can't get like haha strings and like normal juggling because he has down air and up B. Game & Watch kind of eliminates a lot of what Pikachu wants to do well. Of course, Game & Watch as a character has inherent flaws to his game plan, which is if someone knows how to punish back air and down air, you're going to struggle to land because you're going to up B and then down air, and up B and back air, and that's mostly where you're going to land with. Or if you can get a fair, that'd be really good, but then you just try to, as Pikachu, run under the Game & Watch so that the fair doesn't work. Because back air and down air are both punishable. Of course, it's scary because down air kills really, really early, especially if you get crossed up on your DI. But this matchup is a pain in the ass. It's definitely a huge pain in the ass. Like, you have to be so careful when you play Pikachu against Game & Watch. Like, incredibly careful. And that's not easy to do consistently. He eliminates a lot of Pikachu's normal game plan, except for, like, combos at low percent. Because if you get a grab, like, grabs are really important in this matchup. Because you can still get Nair loops for like 40-50%, and Game & Watch is, of course, very, very light, so you kill this character really early. Like, Nair down smash kills at like 95 at the ledge. If you somehow get a Nair on ledge, you can, of course, like random forward airs, dash attacks are going to kill, but like, it's scary to go for them because Game & Watch's advantage state is so good. Because one of the, like, I've heard people not complain about Game & Watch's up air nearly as much as I do, and I realize this is because Pikachu has like no air mobility. And if you have no air mobility, you're going to get up-aired a lot. So, yeah. But you have to, like, the odds are out of your favor for sure. Like, Pikachu can win. I mean, you did see Shinemark beat Meister, and Meister is arguably the best player on Wi-Fi consistently, at least nowadays. But, like, it's hard. You gotta play so on point, and any single time you mess up, you're just like, fuck, and it feels terrible. Next up, alphabetically, the other losing matchup is going to be Ness. Literally, there is one thing that makes this matchup not even. Like, it could be even with all the other stuff that I'm going to talk about. And it's the fact that Nair and back air hit under Pikachu and are big enough that a lot of the times they trade with up air. Because if you could just juggle this character and up air Nair and up air their back air, you would be fine. But you can't, which is awesome. Otherwise, Ness has, of course, good 2-framing against Pikachu with Yo-Yo and PK Fire. His edge trapping is very strong, and of course he has really consistent killing because he has back throw and up air and back air and Nair and dash attack now and down smash and up smash. Magnet's a kill confirm. Magnet's annoying because you can't T-Jolt. Magnet makes it harder to juggle in general because like you have to guess if they're gonna Magnet or not, and if you're wrong, you're gonna get Naired or down aired or back aired, and it hurts. You can play this matchup very carefully in terms of neutral, but if you ever get caught out and like get PK fired, it sucks because Pikachu's for some reason really bad at getting out of PK fire. I don't know why, but he is. It's a pain. It's a pain in the ass. I don't like this matchup. This is my personal least favorite matchup. I would rather play Game & Watch over Ness. Like, Meister is probably my worst bracket demon, but I would rather play other Game & Watches. Like, I don't mind playing the other best Game & Watches, but I hate playing the other decent Nesses. Like, decent Ness, I'm just like, oh my god, like, this is the last hit. Whereas other Game & Watches, I'm gonna, like, be low percent or, like, 2-stock. But yeah, this matchup is just so volatile, and Ness gets to just do what he wants. Like, Ness gets to just do Ness things, and it's really good versus Pika. And Pika does not get to do Pika things, because he can't space against him, he can't really play defensive, he can't T-Jolt, he can barely edgeguard. Like, you can edgeguard Ness, but it's so risky, because if you're wrong, you're gonna die at 30 or 20. But, yeah, I hate that matchup. But I think Game & Watch is technically worse, but I personally dislike Ness more. Next up is Pac-Man. Pac-Man goes into the 50-50 or 55-45 category. I've learned a lot about the Pac-Man matchup recently. I remember I had it in 50-50 or like one of my hardest 50-50s to like maybe be a losing matchup. But I just think that Pac-Man's disadvantage isn't good enough. Of course, Nair is really good and sometimes you have to bait it. But if they don't have Hydrant, like Pikachu can just kind of run at him. I talked to Cosmos when Cosmos was playing a lot of Pika, and he was just like, yeah, like if Pac-Man doesn't have Hydrant, he just dies. He just loses. He gets hit a ton, and then you just wait for the Hydrant to disappear, and then you wait for him to Hydrant, and then you hit him for it. And I kind of started doing that more effectively, and it really works. It's really, really good. I think Pikachu's edge trapping against the character is really good. The edge guarding is real. If you ever get a T-Jolt on their, like, pellet, they die. You can obviously quick attack to go to the trampoline. It's not easy for Pac-Man to get back on stage to get back to neutral, but the neutral is of course annoying. His damage output's great. His kill potential is amazing because of forward smash and bell forward smash and back air and nair and stuff like that. But it's not easy. It's not easy. But yeah, I think Pac-Man just like, if you play careful around the forward smash and kind of like bait and punish, I think Pac-Man has to like bite sometimes. And the advantage state for Pikachu is just too good. Especially again, if you're careful as Pika and you understand like the traps and stuff that Pikachu or that Pac-Man has, like you're not gonna get hit by them as much. Because like I get hit by like a new thing against T every single time, but that's because I don't watch enough Pac-Man. But if you do, you're gonna be fine. Like T's also god, like T's probably just a better player than me as well. So next up is Palu. This matchup sucks. This matchup might be 65-35, but I'm gonna put it in 6-4. Pika is everything Palu doesn't want. He is short, good out of shield options, good edge guarding, not really edge guardable, great throw combos. Because Rising in Air doesn't hit Pika, which is crazy. So Palu has to play the matchup moving and doing fairs and back airs, which is crazy. Like that sucks. Because then Pikachu, because he's short, can parry them a lot. Kind of like what he could do to Zero Suit in Smash 4. And when he parries them, Pikachu gets big punishes because you get Nair looped, Palu does up air bridges across the entire stage. If Pikachu just plays lame, this matchup's hard. When I play the best Palus in the world, if they win a game or they're doing really well, I'm like, damn, they as a player are outplaying me as a player. And then when I win, I'm just like, damn, Pikachu's broken. So, like, it's insane. Like, Pikachu just has everything you want in this matchup. You have T-Jolt, you have edge guarding, you have edge trapping, you have throw combos to death, you have kill confirms. In terms of up air bridges are also just like a kill throw, nair down smash. Like, it's so hard for Palu to do what she wants. Like, if you land on the back of Palu's shield, everything you have is safe, which is crazy. It's so hard for Palu to do what she wants. Like, this matchup might deadass be 6-4. Or sorry, 65-35. It's really bad, especially after the nerfs, because now Palu doesn't have down throw back air, so now you really don't die. Like, you have, like, literally you die in this matchup by raw back air, raw up air, and back throw. But Pikachu's so good at avoiding shit that, like, I don't know how often you're gonna get that. Pikachu's an even matchup because it's a Pikachu matchup chart, and of course it's even. You're always even with yourself. But also, I'm in favor. Like, I win, so I'm 55-45 with every other Pikachu at least. Olimar is either even or 55-45. Listen, the Buzz has my number a lot of the times. I beat him once. Let's go. But defensive Olimar can be a pain in the ass for Pikachu, but the edge guarding, edge trapping, and general advantage of Pikachu, in my opinion, can put Pikachu in 55-45. I know I put him in 55-45 before, but I'm just going to put it in 50-50 for now, like either or for now, because whatever, it's basically the same thing. Olimar is going to get a lot of kills in this matchup because you're going to run into them. But if you don't run into them, it's harder for him to, but then he's going to get 2 purples, which then is really difficult, because then he has 2 purples, but then he can kill the purples, but then he's going to get a blue, and then you're going to get up thrown. It's a pain in the ass. So there's a lot of stuff to look out for. You have to remember as Pikachu which portions of your body are going to get hit by which moves, because yay, Olimar, love that mechanic, haha. But it's not anything that Pikachu can't overcome, because you get hit a ton, like trying to get in against an Olimar. But when you actually get in as Pikachu, you deal a ton of damage, you can bait whistles, Quick Attack is so good in this matchup, you can edge guard him. Maybe I should stop edge guarding him and just edge trap him, because the edge trapping in this matchup is so hard for Olimar to get off the ledge against Pikachu. It is so amazingly difficult to get off the ledge again, like against Pikachu as Olimar. Like Pikachu can win entire games there, or win entire stocks. And then of course if they have to do a bad recovery for some reason, you just back air them or you down air them or something like that. So I think this matchup could be 55-45. I understand if people say 50-50. I don't think the buzz even says Olimar wins. I think it just says 50-50. I'm not even sure. I don't remember. But I think this matchup could definitely be Pikachu's favor, or it can be even. I'm fine with both. But I think I just gotta like learn to edge trap better. Like I just have to commit to edge trapping instead of going for edge guards and then missing and then getting the ledge and then getting forward smashed off ledge. Piranha Plant is 6'4" because Pikachu edge guards the hell out of this character really bad. The neutral of this character is also, or of this matchup is also in Pikachu's favor. Also, the advantage state of this character, of this matchup, is also in Pikachu's favor. Also, Pikachu does more damage per hit than Plant is going to do because I actually have combos and Plant doesn't have combos. So, yeah, Pikachu just wins in every aspect, but not hard enough for it to be worse than this, but pretty bad. Plant has to rely on Pikachu doing things after they use Patooie and then getting hit by Patooie. Because, like, the ledge trapping isn't going to exist in this matchup, IMO, because you have Quick Attack, which is, like, Plant's best thing. You're generally not going to get hit by Up Smash. You're generally not going to get hit by a lot of what Plant wants to do unless you're just being really careless. So, yeah, if you just play careful, you just kind of win in every aspect. And then you get up air bridges off stage, which is kind of sick. And then, like, you get, like, crazy combos on Plant because he's heavy and a fast faller, so you just combo him for fucking forever. Yeah, he explodes. You're like 70-80%. Pit! This matchup's not that bad. It's only 55-45. I think Pit, especially after the buffs, is a very solid character against Pikachu because he can just outplay the Pikachu player. T-Jolt is literally the only reason, like T-Jolt is basically the reason, in my opinion, that this matchup is 55-45 because Pikachu can control the tempo. Because you make them use their down B, you make them reflect it, you make them jump or shield or do whatever. And even though they reflect it, it's fine because it's not going to be a big enough deal otherwise. Also, you have edge guarding this matchup because Pit doesn't have a hitbox on the recovery if they have to use their up B, then you're going to be able to get free back airs repetitively and downers off stage, which is going to be stocks for Pit, or at the very least a lot of damage. Otherwise, Pit has a lot of good stuff. Pit has solid grab combos, you have a good neutral, you have Arrow, which can kind of sometimes counteract T-Jolt, you have good edge trapping because Nair is very lingering, so it covers T-Jolt a lot of the times. Pit has a lot, I'm not gonna lie, like Pit does do decent in this matchup. The neutral is not easy, but Pikachu gets to influence when neutral happens, basically. And again, as I said earlier, those who control the tempo of the match, control the match. And that's, plus the edge guarding, Pit, you know, Pikachu's combos are slightly better. Does Pit get bridged? I don't remember. He gets offstage only, so he gets some. So he gets hit a little bit, but not like super crazy or anything. But yeah, I mean, Pit is a solid character. Does pretty well against Pikachu. Just, again, you're going to get down there. You're going to get edge guarded like once or twice a set, and those are going to matter, you know? Pokemon Trainer is slight Pikachu favor. Listen, this is probably the matchup I'm the worst at in the entire game. I'm so bad versus Trainer for some reason. I don't understand why. I used to be good at the matchup, and then now I just run into everything, and I just get back aired a ton by Charizard. I think Pikachu beats all three Pokemon. Maybe not Charizard. Charizard's probably even. I think Charizard does the best in the matchup because it's really hard to deal with his speed, his disjoints, and it's just straight up kill power. Like back air kills so early. Forward tilt kills so early. If you parry a T-Jolt, or sorry, a Quick Attack, you can get Flare Blitz, which is insane. It's not easy for Pika, but you can't play him the whole game. Like, I don't think Squirtle does particularly well in the matchup because, like, T-Jolt is better than anything that Trainer has. So, like, if you can just camp, then you're going to be fine. And also, like, Squirtle's combos are good, but Pikachu's combos are better. Of course, if you, for some reason, keep Squirtle in, he's going to die really early to things like Nair down smash, down throw, up air, forward air, down throw, down air, stuff like that. I fucking hate Charizard. I hate Charizard. Like, Charizard's probably my personal least understood matchup in the entire game, and it sucks because I can't really learn it when I play against people because they only play Charizard for a third of the match. Ivysaur is not great in this matchup IMO. I think Ivysaur is the worst Pokemon of the 3 against Pika. You can parry the second hit of back air, which I know I don't do a lot on Wi-Fi, but I do it a decent amount offline. So unless they do if they do a perfect back air, it's safe if it's not short hop, but I guess they have to short hop it, so I don't know. You can typically add a shield, Ivysaur's stuff. You're typically safe against Ivysaur's add a shield options as well because Nair is frame 7, so it's a frame 10 out of shield option, so you should be safe against that. But man, I hate Charizard. I don't know how to play that matchup because I feel like you can't T-Jolt. You die super early. You have to play advantage, but then he has armor, and the frame 1 swap, so you can't just like go for it. Granted, if they swap into Squirtle, that's like good, but dude, I don't know it personally. But every Pokemon trainer is also like, yeah, this matchup sucks. So I'm not just saying this like, well, Pikachu's broken. Like every trainer is like, yeah, this matchup sucks. So Richter, this matchup is 65-35. I don't think it's 7-3 because he has good out of shield options at the very least. Yeah, the Belmont struggle a lot, obviously. Pikachu edge guards the shit out of them. Lol, back air, upper back air. It's rough. Like, the projectiles are good, but if they ever throw like an axe, you quick attack them for it. If they throw a side B, you jump in T-Jolt and then get a moment of pressure and then cross them up. Granted, you might get a beat out of shield, but that's fine. You don't really worry about Holy Water edge trapping because you just literally get hit by it and then fall down. And then if they forward smash, then you grab the ledge and then jump. Or like do something because they can't throw another Holy Water. So, like, I feel like Richter's best things is, like, camping and keeping people out, but, like, you have T-Jolt, so if you do that and have a chance to get in, suddenly you might just kill them, and even if you're wrong, you kill them. So, like, kill them. They die. Richter dies when he gets hit. The Belmonts die when they get hit. Ridley! I used to have this matchup in 55-45. I kind of learned how to edgeguard this character a little bit better, so... Or, like, just play around ledge, I guess, a little bit. So Ridley I think is 6-4. I think Pikachu combos Ridley really hard. Ridley also gets upper bridged, which is one of the reasons it pushes into 6-4 as well as the better edge guarding. But like the neutral's not that easy in this matchup, honestly. Granted, you have T-Jolt, and of course T-Jolt forces interactions, and if they shield, you can like shield poke because he's big, or get a grab, and if you Nair loop, it does a ton of percent. The advantage is pretty good for this character. You just have to watch out for side B. Like if you just like play patient for side B, right? And if they do that, then like you're fine. And if they don't do that, then they're on ledge or landing in a weird spot, in which case they're in the corner and now they get edge guarded. And especially if you can have time, if you have time to like go out there before the uppie starts, and if you don't, then you just thunder near the ledge and get at least some free percent, and then they're gonna side B to the ledge, and then you shoot a T-Jolt and then you edge trap them. So I don't know, like it's really hard for Ridley to do anything because his combos aren't good enough. If his combos were better, then it's fine because his neutral isn't that bad in the matchup, so he'd be able to like contend because like he would do damage too, but then he gets like down tilt, forward air, and you're like, cool, that was it. You know? Like, the kill potential is really good, and if you get 2-framed by, like, forward smash, obviously that's going to be a big deal. But it's not consistent enough, IMO, so 6-4. Next up is Rob. I think Rob is 6-4. I think it could be 65-35. This matchup's not good for Rob. But, this is the swinginess of the character. It makes it hard for me to put this character lower than 6-4 because you have things like down air, and Nair side B, and dash attack into gyro side B. And down tilt exists, and like down throw, up tilt, up air kills Pikachu very early if you don't DI it correctly, which is impossible to know because it's a straight up 50-50 because Rob's up air is kind of stupid. Pikachu has a lot in this matchup because Pikachu combos the hell out of this character, advantage states the hell out of this character. Because he's so short, it's really easy to parry Nair, which allows you to get more damage and advantage in general. You edge guard this character to death. Like, you need to get as close as you can to the stage before you start going up as Rob so you can have at least some type of mix-up with up air. But a lot of times what I do as Pikachu, honestly, is I like SDI towards the stage to make sure I'm going to go into the stage, and then I tech and then I down air Rob as a punish. That's bad. That's bad. Like, it's definitely something that's I'm fairly consistent at offline, so that makes it really rough for Rob to recover. Like, the edge guarding is a really big deal. Up air bridges work on Rob very well, which is a very big deal. So it's just not easy for Rob to do anything. But again, Rob like, haha, down tilt, down tilt into grab, down throw, up tilt, up air, haha, like you're dead at 80. But it's just a little difficult for like Rob to get anything that he wants to get started. Pikachu's really good at picking up gyro because of forward air. Forward air is just really good against Rob in general. You can't land on his shield, granted, because Rob's up smash hits both sides and it kills you very early. It's very, very good out of shield option, so you gotta be careful with that. But yeah, Rob struggles, but his swing factor is what keeps it worse, or better than 65-35. Next up, Robin. This matchup also sucks. I think this matchup 65-35. Maybe 6, no, I'll do 6-4. Matchup's not good. This matchup's not good for Robin. Pikachu crouches under thunders, can punish every arc fire, or at the very least get a T-Jolt out and then start pressure. can edge guard the hell out of this character, can juggle the hell out of this character. There's nothing good for Robin in this matchup besides hoping Pikachu gets impatient. It's bad. Like, back air is so good in this matchup, down air is so good in this matchup. Like, Robins are going to just try to swing early to hit your early aerials, and if you don't do it, then you just up air them and then juggle them for a long time, and it's hard. Yeah, you crouch under every Thunder except for Thoron, so like, that's bad. Like, that sucks for Ridley. But yeah, Robin just, like, they struggle. They get edge guarded so hard. Of course, like, the edge trapping is a little bit scary as Pika, but again, similar to the Belmonts, I'm just fine to just, like, drop down and SDI down off of Arc Fire, and if they don't have Arc Fire, then they're screwed. They have nothing. Like, they need Arc Fire edge trapping, and if they don't have it, they just lose. Rosalina. I'm not sure if this match was 55-45 or 6-4, but I'm just going to put it in 6-4 because I'm greedy. But Rosa struggles in this matchup. Pikachu is so good at getting rid of Luma. Pikachu is so good at edge guarding Rosa. Pikachu is so good at keeping Rosa in the air. The aggression of this character is so good in this game, and especially because you have a spike now, and as well as more kill confirms in terms of down throw forward air, down throw up air forward air. I feel like just in general, Luma's easier to kill. You have dash attack. This character's so light that she's just gonna die. Like, she needs to keep Pikachu out masterfully, and it's very difficult to do so because you have quick attack. I could totally put in 55-45. I'm not sure. I just remember not struggling against Dabuz when I have played him, but granted, that was before the buffs. Like, in friendlies, granted, so I don't know. But I just think Rosa has a lot of tools, but just, if you don't have Luma, you're screwed. And as I talked about with Ice Climbers, if Pikachu's so good at getting rid of Luma that if you don't have Luma, now this matchup sucks. Like, non-Luma is 65-35, but getting rid of Luma is so easy that, like, you're consistently gonna play against Rosa without Luma. And if you're just, like, slightly patient, you're not rushing, and you're gonna be fine. Roy! This matchup is honestly worse than Chrom, but they're both probably 6-4. Again, Chrom might be 55-45. I still have to, like, reorder them and stuff. But Roy's bad. This matchup sucks. His out of shield options are a little better because up B's faster, but he gets edge guarded, he gets comboed to hell. Pikachu can oftentimes space around and just only get tippered by Roy, which is good because they can't get strong kills. Like, it's so hard to consistently hit Pikachu with things like strong, like Sweet Spot Jab, Sweet Spot F-Tilt. They're not easy to do because Pikachu can be so mobile. Of course, you have T-Jolt, you have the ability to carry him across the stage, you have the ability to get really long combos because he's a fast faller. Up air bridge works for quite a while on him, especially off stage. You punish a lot of what Roy wants to do. If he up B's to platforms, you can punish him or at least try to juggle. The matchup just, I always feel like it's in my court, like always. So, I don't know. It might be 55-45. I could maybe argue that. Like, I could see that and be fine, but like, I feel like I'm always gonna win against Roy. Like, I feel always in favor. And like, if it doesn't happen, then it's just like, I got outplayed. Like hella, so yeah. Ryu! I'm gonna put Ryu in 55-45. Online, this matchup is even or losing. But I think offline Pikachu wins just because Pikachu's camping is a little bit easier to do and edge guards are a big deal in this matchup. It's really hard to edge guard Ryu online because just obviously the little bit of delay makes it a lot harder. But I think you will consistently edge guard Ryu offline, and that is what puts it at 55-45. Because otherwise, this matchup's a pain in the ass. Ryu kills you so early because of down tilt, strong down tilt Tatsu. His camping is pretty good. It's at least, like, it's not equal to Pika's, but it's very slightly worse than Pika's. He has great out of shield options. He has up smash out of shield to deal with back air and forward air because he low profiles frame 1. It's hard. This character is very good at dealing with offensive Pika, like, always. But Pikachu's, like, if Pikachu gets the hit, the combos are crazy. The advantage state of Pika is very strong. The edge guarding of this character, the edge trapping of this character is very strong. But, like, the neutral is a pain in the ass. The kill differential, probably in Ryu's favor, because even with edge guards, like, you just die. You just die. You die! But yeah, I do think it's 55-45. One of the harder 55-45s, but 55-45 nonetheless. Samus. Samus is 55-45. It's an awkward matchup for Pika, for sure. Like, I feel like for worse Pikas, this matchup's even, because you can't really T-Jolt that much because of Charge Shot. You can't T-Jolt from far away, so you have to do, like, double jump T-Jolts where Samus is. The edge trapping is honestly the thing that puts it over the edge, because Samus does a ton of damage, great killing, good out of shield options, solid neutral because of Charge Shot and Bomb. But like, granted, if they bomb you T-Jolt and then get like a thing of offense, whether they have to like, or they shoot their Charge Shot, which is fine. But like, it's so hard for Samus to get back on stage, because if you just like respect ledge hop forward air, like Samus doesn't really have a lot, because Pikachu can always hit, like if they do like ledge hop or ledge jump and then like bomb, you just up air them. Even if you get hit by the bomb, you just keep them at disadvantage for longer, and you're going to be doing more damage, I'm pretty sure, overall. Like, this matchup's not fun. It's very scary. Like, I could see it being even in theory, especially if the Samuses get better at like their kill confirms and stuff, but I just think Pikachu is a little bit too strong. Like, getting, like, if you hit a back air or like a forward air, you get Nair loops, similar to what I said about Peach and their floatiness in terms of the combos. Samus is heavy, so you still get combos for longer, then you throw them off stage and just edge trap them. Like, edge trapping is so good versus Samus, especially as Pikachu, because you have the option to force them off ledge because of T-Jolt. So, yeah. Sheik. This matchup sucks. This is one of Sheik's worst matchups. It's either 6-4 or 65-35. Pikachu just does what Sheik wants to do better. I can spam dash tag and it's fine. Spamming dash tag is great in this matchup because it's going to kill at like 100 and Sheik can't really do anything about it except grab you, but who cares? Pikachu does a ton of damage. The lightness of Sheik is going to be a really big deal because Pikachu's things like dash attack, forward air, nair down smash, even up throw are going to be really, like, are going to make Pikachu's killing more consistent because, of course, Sheik does have all her kill confirms, whether it's nair bouncing fish, whether it's needle up smash, needle footstool, downer up smash, stuff like that. But I don't think that I don't think that those are going to be consistent enough against Pikachu, especially when T-Jolts are going to be there, to work. Like, Pikachu just wins the trade game, which is rare. Pikachu never wins the trade game, because Pikachu's general damage output is lower because a lot of his hits are multi-hit. But Pikachu wins the trade game in this matchup, which is insane. You do get upper bridged a little bit. You, of course, everyone gets nair looped, so it's just bad. Like, it's just, like, every Sheik thinks she loses this matchup, and so if every Sheik thinks you lose a matchup, it's probably slightly worse, because Sheiks are very optimistic about their matchups and about how good this character is, and if Sheiks players are like, yeah, this matchup sucks, it's like, damn, okay, this matchup sucks. So yeah. Shulk, 55-45. Literally, there's only one thing that makes this matchup not even, which is, edge guards. If you catch Shulk out without shield art, which is going to happen occasionally, Shulk dies. Back air just hits the recovery. And also edge trapping, if for some reason you feel like you can't edge guard. Like, getting early backers against Shulk, like, the second time that, like you hit him once and he shield arts, and then if you hit him a second time with, like, a T-Jolt back air, like, he's just gonna die. Like, he dies a lot. Like, there were so many times I was playing Kome in friendlies, and I would just be losing and then edge guard him, and then I'd be winning, and then I would start camping because I'm gonna camp because I'm Pikachu. Pikachu is very good at dealing with these scary arts because he can just camp. Like, if Shulk goes into Smash Art, you can just kind of, like, shoot a couple T-Jolts, and then run off stage, and then Skull Bash under the stage, and then jump Thunder, and then Skull Bash back under the stage, and then grab Ledge, and shield. Smash Art's probably gone, which is a big deal. If you can't utilize your Smash Art as Shulk, suddenly those kill potentials are going to be very high, and that's not good, because Shulk needs to cheese people in order for him to be, like, super, super good. But yeah, Pikachu just kind of, like, the neutral definitely does a lot of this, where it, like, goes back and forth and up and down, because Pikachu shoots T-Jolt and runs forward, and then Shulk, like, jumps backwards and does a fair, and you can't really punish it, and then Pikachu goes for a full hop forward air, and Shulk runs under it, and then, like, you just kind of do it again. But it's really fun and swingy, but, like, Shulk does a lot of damage, Pikachu does a lot of damage, Pikachu has combos in Smash Art as well, to kind of, like, mitigate how good Smash Art is. Like, it's pretty fun of a matchup, IMO, but I do think Pikachu just has the slight edge because of edge guarding and edge trapping. Because, like, the general advantage state of Shulk isn't going to exist because you have Skull Bash and Quick Attack. And, you know, Pikachu's not going to have as many combos as he normally does because of Shield Art. So, like, that becomes a little bit more difficult. So, yeah. I mean, I think this matchup's slight. I think Kome thinks it's even, but I think it's slight. So, yeah. Next up is Snake. I think Snake is 50-50 or 55-45. Snake has a lot in this matchup, don't get me wrong. And I'm pretty sure MBD thinks the exact opposite of this, where he thinks Snake maybe slightly wins. But I just think I've been getting better at advantage state, and Snake struggles in advantage. Like, when Snake is in disadvantage, that is obviously his worst thing. It's possible. It's very definitely possible and applicably possible to hit Snake at a disadvantage without hitting grenades. It is very possible to just play correctly versus Snake and also camp against Snake. Camping against Snake is so good. Granted, you kind of do like a back and forth camping thing, but when Pikachu gets the opportunity to go in, he does get to go in, and the combos can be very deadly. Snake does get upper bridged a little bit, like not super heavily because he still has frame 1 grenade, but he does get upper bridged, at the very least for like combos and stuff like that. He does take damage and stuff. And the damage output of just Pikachu overall and Snake is very high. And of course, you know, one of the things that makes this, I feel like, definitive, or not definitively in Pikachu's favor is down throw forward tilt specifically. Down throw forward tilt working on Pika is really rough because that means if you get down throwed near the ledge at like 126, you die. Or, you know, slightly farther at 140 and it's hard. But I do think Snake struggles in this matchup. I do think Pikachu's advantage state is very, very strong, and if Snake ever has to recover low, he dies because he gets spiked. If Snake recovers high, you can always potentially get a hit with Thunder, or just like force them to air dodge because of Thunder, and then up air them. It's just rough. Like, I feel like Pikachu is going to get a lot of kills in advantage state, whereas Snake kind of has to like raw read and neutral and get up tilts and stuff like that because you have quick attack, and even if you get dash attack, like dash attack is not going to be as big of a deal. Of course, Snake has Nikita, which is very good in the matchup, but I feel like if you're able to shoot a T-Jolt out and hit the Nikita and suddenly quick attack around the Nikita, like you're going to be fine. Of course, you're still going to get hit every once in a while, but I feel like that's going to happen less often than like Snake's going to get edge guarded. So yeah, I personally think it's 55-45, but I'm going to put it in, you can argue it because whatever. Sonic is definitively Pikachu's favor. It's not a question. If Pikachu has the lead, Sonic very much so struggles to bring it back. If Sonic has the lead, Pikachu struggles less to bring it back because you have T-Jolt and edge guarding and advantage state in general. Sonic, of course, is a good character, great at running away, but I do think his like advantages are less so against Pika because Pikachu is small and Pikachu has a good recovery. Of course, if you get F Smash 2 frames, that's gonna suck. But it's actually really hard, in my opinion, for Sonic to get off the ledge against Pikachu unless they're just going to do like offstage spring, in which case you're probably going to hit them for it anyway. Pikachu's really, really good at just keeping Sonic in the air, keeping him in the air. If a Sonic ever does like ledge hop side B, you just kind of forward smash them. Forward smash is great in this matchup. It's so good. It's kind of hard to kill Sonic, I'm not going to lie, because Sonic is very good at avoiding a lot of the places that people want to hit their opponents in, kind of like what I say about Pikachu a lot. But, like, you can force Sonic in enough bad situations where eventually you're going to get a forward air, you're going to get a nair down smash, you're going to get a forward smash and stuff like that. And if you're winning, Pikachu, it's so hard for Sonic to bring it back. It is absolutely incredibly difficult. Ledge trumping is also very good against Sonic because if you're expecting Pikachu to just, like, only edge trap you, then Trump back air is going to kill at 120, 130, which is a big deal. But yeah, I think every Sonic also thinks this is losing, so I don't think this is a crazy opinion, but I definitely think so. Steve! I don't think this matchup's that bad. It might be 6-4 offline, because obviously I have not played it a single time offline. Steve's like kind of walling out playstyle is very good versus Steve, and the fact that you can kind of nullify T-Jolts a little bit because of blocks makes it kind of annoying to approach, and if you do approach, you can get a lot of damage, you can get edge guards and stuff like that against Steve, but it's definitely not easy. I definitely just down air more in this matchup, because down air should hit Steve out of the armor of side B, but like side B is really good in this matchup. Like, the reason it is Pikachu's favor is because of edge guarding, mostly. Because, like, otherwise it's kind of awkward. Like, neutral's pretty awkward. Again, you can't just let him get Diamond, because I don't care what anyone says. Diamond is going to kill you. Like, you get back aired at 70 at the ledge and die. And you can't just play that passive against Steve. It doesn't work like that unless you're winning by a lot. But either way, it's not worth it for him to have Diamond, in my opinion. So, you kind of want to play, like, this close neutral kind of thing. Like, it's not easy for Pikachu to like do what he wants, but then like it's still Pikachu. Like, he's still gonna like up air, upper forward air you, or he's gonna just like edge guard you, or he's going to nair loop you, and like that sucks. Like, that really sucks. But I don't think it's bad. Like, I think Steve is the best DLC against Pika, except maybe Joker. But he's pretty well. Terry! I'm gonna put Terry in 6-4. Terry can't camp, so Pikachu just kind of gets to do Pikachu things to Terry, without really the ability to mitigate it. Pikachu can edge guard this character a lot. Terry kills you at -%, but also Pikachu's so small that a lot of times things like down tilt, jab, jab into Buster Wolf aren't combos. Like, it doesn't combo. Like, I've air dodged that so many times and then punished Terry for doing so because, like, I just, like, air dodge down and through them and then, like, turn around, charge up smash or something like that. But, like, Terry just doesn't have enough of a neutral because you can actually add a shield his options. Because if he's like spamming down tilt on shield, you can actually just nair it out of shield or back air it out of shield, especially if they're going to do a second one. The up smash is less good for profiling. And yeah, like, I just don't know how Terry wins this matchup besides like YOLO side B, and like that's it. Like, if you are ready for the random that Terry has, then like I think Pikachu just wins. Something that is annoying in the matchup is like his reeling animation, like his non-tumble animation is actually kind of annoying for Pikachu to deal with, and it makes comboing him a little bit more difficult. But like, you can just adjust for that. Like, it's just a matchup experience thing, so. Toon Link. I think Toon Link is 6-4. I think that Toon Link not being able to be aggressive like the other Links, or not having as good out of shield options as the other Links, makes him worse than the other Links. Granted, he doesn't get comboed as hard because he's floatier, but like, his recovery is, in my opinion, worse than the other two. Maybe not. Well, it's at least worse than Link's. but he's gonna get edge guarded, he's gonna get edge trapped, he's gonna get comboed. Like, you just have to watch out for add a shield Z drop, but like for the most part, like if Pikachu camps, you're gonna be fine. If Toon Link wants to camp, sure, it doesn't really matter, you just keep shooting T-Jolts. Like Pikachu's openings are so important, and Toon Link doesn't do enough damage to really mitigate that, because Toon Link is gonna just be like, cool, up tilt, up smash, up tilt, up smash, bomb fair. Whereas, you know, Link, those things that he does are more influential because he does more damage. Or also, Young Link does like actual combos, whereas Toon Link doesn't. So I think this match is pretty hard for Toon Link. Villager! I'm gonna put Villager in 6-4. Basically, there's a lot of things that are similar to the Isabelle matchup, whereas Pikachu has really good out of shield options, Pikachu has really good edge guarding, even better edge guarding actually in this matchup because of the lack of tether that Isabelle has with Side B. But the swing factor is much better for Villager because you have to respect Tree and you have to respect Bowling Ball. So there's a lot of times where, like, if you get hit off stage as Pika and you get bowling balled, sometimes you're just gonna die at 40. Whereas Isabelle doesn't have that. So Villager has the things to kind of counteract Pikachu getting a ton of damage, those edge guards and stuff like that, and kind of swing it back into his favor, or at least swing it back to even. I do think those are less likely than Pikachu doing all of his stuff, and especially because you can recover high as Pikachu and kind of quick attack down. But Villager has a tough time, but it's not nearly as bad as Isabelle's. Like, it's probably one of the harder 6-4s, like closer to 55-45 than vice versa. Bowling Ball's crazy. Tree, you just have to respect. He gets Axe. His kill potential is overall better. His out of shield options are overall better. Up smash is very good in this matchup, even as an anti-air, so yeah. Wario is 55-45. I definitely think the out of shield options for Pika and the edge guarding for Pika kind of put this matchup into Pikachu's favor. But barely, because Wario has Waft, and Wario, his whiff punishing is incredible, and Wario's combos are great, and his damage output is amazing, and his safety on shield are just wonderful in general. Like, why is up air -2? That confirms into everything. Up tilts are great anti-air. It's kind of hard for Pikachu to get off the ledge versus him. He has a bunch of kill confirms that aren't even Waft. Down tilt dash attack, of course. Like, the kill potential of this matchup is definitely in Wario's favor, even with edge guards. Like, the reason this is Pikachu's favor is because you can kind of force Wario onto platforms and then start juggling him and stuff like that. Upper bridges, again, the reason that, in my opinion, because this matchup was like maybe even in my opinion, but then I learned that upper bridges work fully on Wario. So, like if you get that back air that beats Wario's Nair, then you get landing, then you get up air, landing, Nair, and potentially Nair loop into upper bridge into death. Like, upper bridges make the kill differential so sporadic in these matchups, and it's like, oh, you killed a Wario as early as Wario killed you with Waft, with a grab, without needing a resource that takes a minute and a half to build up. So I think it's really not easy for Pikachu. It's very, of course, swingy because of Waft. I can understand it being even. Like, I'm down to call it even, realistically, if, like, other top players think that. But I just think Pikachu slightly wins because of bridges. Like, it's straight up just upper bridges. So, like, once I play people offline and I upper bridge people, I want to see what others' opinions of the matchup are. Wii Fit Trainer, this matchup sucks. This matchup sucks. Wii Fit can't deal with short, can't deal with edge guarding. T-Jolt's actually really good in the matchup. At great out of shield options, you can play passive against deep breathing. You can, like, you just don't let Wii Fit play the game. Like, you don't let her be aggressive the way she wants to. You don't let her be passive the way she wants to. You edge guard her. You never let her breathe. She gets upper bridged at least a little bit. Upper bridges affect most characters, by the way. Like, literally, I just want to go over, like, the list of characters upper bridges don't affect on flat stages, but then these work on platforms, which is Samus, Ness, Peach, Ice Climbers, Marth, Mewtwo, Game & Watch, Trainer, Olimar, Toon Link, Villager, Rosa, Pac-Man, Shulk, Duck Hunt, and Isabelle, and Terry. That's it. So, like most characters it works on. So, like, it's a big deal. Like, it's just really hard for you to do anything. Like, the edge trapping, or the edge, like, play of, like, I'm gonna use side B, like, isn't actually important, because you get spikes on them. You just kill them, which is crazy. Or, like, forward airs, and then now there's, like, oh, they have to do this weird, terrible side B off stage, and they hit them for it. Like, it happens a lot. Wolf is 55-45. I think Wolf, even if Fox is 55-45, because I know I was talking about that earlier, Wolf still does the best against Pikachu of all the species, because his neutral is the best, and he has a kill throw. And he has the ability to two-frame consistently with forward tilt and down smash. Not consistently, but, like, enough. This character has good neutral in the matchup. Pikachu literally only wins because 1, up air bridges, and 2, edge guarding. Because, like, the neutral is fairly even. Laser's very good in the matchup. Wolf's passive play, jump, like, neutral jump, drift backwards is really good. Their like just jump backwards in general. Their backdash is really good, so it forces Pikachu to be like very overcommittal aggressive. In which case, then you're gonna get grabbed and get grabbed confirmed. But I think it's a slight Pikachu favor just because like you're gonna get edge guarded. Like I want to play Tweaks Wolf in a full set, even if it's like a money match or something offline. Pikachu just like gets a little bit too much an advantage and like can deal with Wolf's recovery a little too hard and like forces like the edge guarding, edge trapping in this matchup is really, really hard for Wolf to deal with. That even if the rest of it's neutral, then I think Pikachu still wins. Yoshi! Yoshi is even or a slight win, in my opinion. I think that Pikachu's passive play is better than Yoshi's passive play, and both of that is what both of them want to do. Both characters kind of want to camp and then like get like 2 hits and then run away the rest of the time, but Pikachu's is better because we have a disjoint and we have quick attack. So like a lot of this matchup, there's a lot of times I played Miles and I've played a bunch of other Yoshis where it's just like, we're like camping and then we're both at 140 and just like scared to throw out kill moves. Played Meme in a couple matchups, or a couple money matches rather, and it's very similar. But I just think Pikachu gets a little bit too much. If you get that early read on the forward air, on the up B, you get a forward air off stage, which can be a big deal. Of course, you have to respect his double jump, so a lot of your combos aren't real, so you're going to go more so for like up tilt, up air, back air, as opposed to nair loops and stuff like that. Obviously, upper bridges do not work on this character. You cannot shield poke this character, which is honestly a big thing that I do. Personally, like I go for shield pokes a lot, and you just can't on Yoshi because obviously you can't shield poke Yoshi just period because of egg. But yeah, Yoshi just like he can deal with a lot of what Pikachu wants to do, but then Pikachu can deal with a lot of Yoshi wants to do. So like they kind of just end up in a stalemate. But because quick attack isn't a resource, right? So like if you get hit at a quick attack, you can just quick attack again, like at a different spot. Whereas Yoshi, if you don't have a double jump, you might die. Like you can, like there have been so many times I've just killed Yoshis for not having the double jump because like they double jumped really early and I forward aired them all the way up there, and then they tried to down B and I like forward smashed it before they landed, and then they egged, and then I did a weak upper forward air, and then they like air dodged the ledge and I forward tilted them, and then they air dodged the ledge again and I forward tilted them. That happens a lot. But yeah, Yoshi just like it ends up just being very slightly Pikachu favor overall. So I think it's more 55-45, but I'm still down for even because like sometimes nairs and sometimes forward airs and stuff like that, like spikes, and it's definitely a very close matchup. Like it would be one of the harder 55-45s. Young Link. I think this matchup is one of the easier. It's probably 6-4 actually, because while Young Link is good, he gets upper bridge, like full upper bridge, and it's like Young Link is the like 4th easiest character to upper bridge, period. But yeah, Young Link gets upper bridged, add a shield option, edge guarded. Otherwise, Young Link does very well. I mean, if you can, like, Pikachu's good enough at avoiding like projectiles like Boomerang and Arrow and stuff because you kind of know where they want to do it because they're gonna like run off the platform and be reverse Fire Arrow. I feel like Pikachu's out of shield options is just a little too good for this matchup, and just the advantage state and the combos are so detrimental in this matchup. Like Young Link then combos Pikachu and it does a lot of damage, but it's really hard for Young Link to actually get kills on Pika. Like you're gonna have to like up B out of shield and then get up airs at specific percents. Like I don't think it's easy to get things into up B in this matchup because Pikachu's so good at avoiding like down tilt area and stuff like that. Like I don't know, it's hard. I can see it being 55-45 instead because like Young Link's super mobile and kind of annoying to deal with because his projectiles are faster than T-Jolt, but I just think Pikachu's like actual just buttons are too good for the matchup. And then again, upper bridge is like huge. Like you start killing Young Link at like 35 off the grab, it's crazy. And we have Zero Suit Samus. This matchup is slightly in Pikachu's favor. It's not -2 Mars. It's not. Or any other Zero Suit. This matchup is very, very difficult because Zero Suit forces Pikachu to whiff because of her amazing speed. She has the ability to flip jump out of the corner if she feels like Pikachu's going to overcommit, and she just runs around Pika. She literally runs circles around this character. And the only way for Pikachu to deal with it is to either upper bridge him, because upper bridges are very good against Zero Suit, probably like the 2nd easiest character to upper bridge, which might actually make it back into 6-4. But like, it's so hard. You can't quick attack this character because you're going to get parry upbeat or just upbeat in general. You can't do anything on this character's shield because Pikachu doesn't have a lot of range, right? So except for down tilt, you can down tilt this character. But like if you do like a landing back air or a landing forward air, you're going to get upbeat and die really, really early. You can't T-jolt safely a lot of times because you get jump flip jump. Like jump flip jump kick, which is bad. I don't know. It's rough. It's not rough. Pikachu still wins. Because you can still like camp and are small and nair loop and stuff like that. Do you and Mario's argue about Smash opinions? Not really, we just disagree about this one. Up air bridges are crazy good in this matchup, and that's what keeps the matchup definitely in Pikachu's favor. Just the smallness in general. You can edge trap this character because you don't have to be scared of down B anymore because you can mash out at higher percents. But yeah, Zero Suit just like, she has enough tools to deal with a lot of what Pikachu wants to do. Pikachu has to play so safely and so on point to do things to Zero Suit because like it's hard to say that on point. It's hard to play defensively versus Zero Suit because her kill potential and her kill options and her kill confirms are so good. Like, oh, you were playing careful and then you tried to parry a Nair, but they did a drift back Zair and you were at 65, like a third of the way into the stage, and then they do Zair, run a boost kick and it comboed and killed you. Like, that's crazy. The kill potential is definitely farther in Zero Suit's favor. Again, up air bridges are going to be a huge deal in the matchup, and otherwise I'd probably say this matchup's even, but up air bridges are a very big deal, because suddenly, like, a grab at 30%, like parry grab at like 30% is going to be death, which is insane. Yeah, that's my Pikachu matchup chart. This character is busted, because in my opinion, at worst, you have 8 matchups that are even, and 2 that are losing. Even if you make this like as bad as possible, and one of them is the Ditto. And even if you make this matchup like even more skeptical, where like Wolf is even and Wario's even, and like Ryu's even, then you have like 12 matchups you don't win. So really quick, I want to like order them in terms of like what's harder, because this is not quite accurate. So again, the left is going to be the hardest matchups, and then the right's going to be the easiest matchups. And yeah, it's going to be about it actually. I think that's it. I think that's my list. Again, it really doesn't matter the order of the tiers, but I just tried to order them. But yeah,